Glenn, how are you? Glad you're both here. We've our writing has gone sideways again. I'm not sure why, but I'm glad you could make it. It's extraordinary the problems we have with this life. Sweetie, could you do me a favour?
What?
Could you grab my phone because I can read the things off the other one. So how are we, fellas? What's occurring? What's happening in Luzon and what's happening back in Blighty, Glenn? I'm going to try and talk a bit slower tonight, not get so excited. Go a bit easy on the beer. My chat seems to have stopped here. Type some more, chaps. I don't know if you're actually here or not, or whether this is an old message. You think I'm sideways?
Yeah.
Let me see. I shouldn't be sideways. I don't think anyone's there anyway.
Look.
Right. Well, I will turn it round then. I'm not sure if anyone's there or not. Hello, Jackstow. How you doing, mate? I thought you were on your travels. I didn't expect to see you tonight, son. Am I the right way round, or shall I turn it round? Am I sideways, chaps? That's what I'm trying to ask. We managed to get into the room tonight. We are making improvements in terms of we actually got in the live room, but by Christ, for some reason, it's gone sideways again. Yeah, you're sideways. All right, we will turn it round. We will turn it round. Give us a second. How do we turn this one round? Oh, this is good.
Oh.
Ellen bought me a new stand the other week. Oh no, she broke my stand. She bought a new one, and it wasn't very good. So I bought this new one. But it's kind of because of that, it does a lot of stuff. So we're better. Yeah. So I'm back now. Flying on Thursday, buddy. Where are you flying from, Jack? London, presume. Well, I don't know where you're from. Are you flying from London, or are you flying from well, you must be Gatwick or Heathrow, innit, to the States?
You asked them if
yes, you're sideways, yeah, but I'm the right way around now, aren't I? Jim, I am here. Yes, you are sideways. Well, I'm not Manchester. Who flies out of Manchester then? I know you can get a lot more flights these days from the old thingy ones, but who are you flying with? Emirates first class, no doubt. There we go, that's better. I'd pan the camera down, but Ellen's screaming at me. She's crouched down there looking. KLM direct, good flight to be honest. I did this in a trivia quiz the other night. KLM are the oldest airline in the world. Just a bit of useless information. I think it was 1906 or something they started. But yeah, KLM are good. KLM are good. I flew them when I was working in Holland. I flew them a couple of times. I mean, most of the time I flew. What was that other one? British Midlands. But Bindabar, I do. You do what, Bindabar? What? No, they're the oldest. Adam Fente, hey-ho, son, signing in from Iloilo. I can't say Iloilo. My last week. Why is your last week here? Where are you going? Is Jeffrey with you? Ha ha. That's Douglas Jordan. No, Jeffrey, no. God, that was a nightmare last week, wasn't it? I will never, ever do that again. It seemed like fun, but I had no idea it was kept, stopping and starting. So you play it back, you got Jeff being a dickhead, trying to do this all the time. What? Well, he was trying to be a dick. He was being a dickhead. He won't mind me saying it. And then you got a thing, and then when you play it back, people couldn't see us half the time anyway because it kept freezing. Was a good vlog the other day. Keep it up. Which one? The one to I can't speak tonight. To Mobile. I'm guessing so. You mean that one because I haven't done many vlogs. I enjoy doing the vlogs. No one likes them, so I'm going to make it my. Well, obviously, some people like them, but they only get half the views of Talking Heads. But I have run out of things to say, so I'm going to work on the vlogs and the editing. Vlogging's the way to go forward. But I'm glad you liked it, mate. Appreciate the kind words. Glenn, you fly from. I do like your been there, done that. It's a very clever handle, if you call them handles these days. Fly from Manchester. Adam from. Have I ever flown from Manchester? Yeah, I have. Where did I fly to Manchester from? I think I flew to Ibiza from Manchester once. Yeah, we did. We got the train up from Leicester. I can't remember why we flew to Ibiza, but I think that's the only time I've ever flown from Manchester. Adam Fent, I did my time in the fields, but it's my time for me to move on. Heading to Siem Reap next week to start a new chapter there. Well, best of luck on your journey, mate. I've got fond memories of Siem Reap. I haven't been there for about 5 years, but I still have a couple of friends over there. Well, people I know. I mean, they might be watching. Yeah, they're good friends. And they tell me it's moved on light years. You know, it's light years ahead of what it was. The internet's a lot better. They don't have brownout. So I think you'll find living there easier in terms of comforts and things with Siem Reap. Oh, mate, Jack Star, listen, I don't know what to say to that. You know, you keep doing it. It doesn't matter how many times I say no, you do it. You shouldn't. But thank you very much. Thank you very much. Don't do any more, mate, honestly. That's very kind of you. Thank you. I do wonder, yeah, you're an intriguing man. Clearly a very wealthy and successful man. Best of luck, Adam, and best of luck in your journey, Jack. I tell you what, I do apologise. I have noticed some other streamers are much better at following the conversation for the Ellen Birthday Weekend Fund. Gratefully appreciated, mate. I tell you what, you get a bit tight when you live in you know what I mean? When you live in a country for a little while, you get used to the prices, don't you? And it's like when I go back to the UK, I'm like, Jesus Christ, like £10 for a pint of lager or whatever. But you expect that it's different. But it was funny. I realised being in Dumaguete a year and a half, it was catching me when we went to Mulbol. Because like the beers and that are all like 30, 40 pesos more. You think, God, that's no. And you think, wait a minute, it's only 20 pence, you know, like 30 pence. But Mulbol's more expensive than here. But that's because it's very cheap. And it's peanuts. So you just get in a mindset. Obviously you don't, because you're a very successful, generous man. But I was back in December for a week and I loved my time there in Siem Reap. Thank you. Good. Be lucky, mate. If I hadn't met the lovely Ellen, I would probably be in Siem Reap now. I've got it in my mind to move to Colombia, but I haven't necessarily got the balls. I get a bit worried about moving over there because it could be my undoing, if you know what I mean. I'm a weak man in many ways and there's a lot of temptations over there. So if things didn't work out in the Philippines, I'm sure I might end up back in Siem Reap. I feel I have unfinished business in Siem Reap, particularly if it's got better. I tell you what, chaps, while you're on there, I did a vlog today. I won't go up till tomorrow probably, about Vitali. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? This obviously I'm just talking because it seems to have frozen. As soon as something comes up, I will change my subject. As soon as one of you guys ask me something. What's that?
Nothing. There's no new one.
Okay.
You're fine.
Right.
I wouldn't do.
Simon Beer Fund. Yeah, the beer. See, beer's still. People get it in their heads when they come to the Philippines how much cheaper the beer is in Thailand. But I often wonder if it is, because you know you get the big changs, don't you? You get the big changs over there. They used to be like 65 pesos, 65 baht. But there's a lot more in them than there is in you know, the old. Mind you, yeah, it is more. But it's not a lot more expensive over there, the alcohol. I think it's just people go to Pattaya and Bangkok and pay the tourist prices and then come to the Philippines. They think Thailand's really expensive for drink, but it's not. The Arches, there he is, the shepherd's pie guy. We nearly had shepherd's pie. I was going to take one for the team and have shepherd's pie in Mulbol, but I did it the last time we were there. It's because they got a place called Greedy Bellies and it wasn't very good. But next time, and Ellen didn't want to go there. She said it's full of all boring old men. And half of them were younger than me, but there you go. Adam Fronte, Clown Vitali. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm going to slag him off now. I did a vlog about it because the things that have shocked me are not what seem to have shocked other people. Because I wasn't shocked by what he did. You know, you get idiots in this country, you know, in this world, you know, who do stupid things. The thing that blew my mind was how bad he was at doing it. I mean, he just looked like he didn't know what he was doing. And the more I found out about him, people have said he used to be this really successful vlogger, he had this following and all this shit. But he's like walking around with that policeman, he's like, you know, Oh, can I hug you? Can I? Walks away, has another idea. Can I kiss you? Oh, I'm going to fart. It was amateur hour. I don't, that's not my kind of thing, but I've watched some of the old prank things in America, you know, just because it's road crash TV, you know, the old exploding air cushions under chairs and, you know, when they do the gang signs around the cities and people attack them. They're quite good at what they do. It's stupid, shouldn't be encouraged, wouldn't watch it, but you do sometimes just for like 10 minutes. But they seem to know what they're doing. He didn't seem to know what he was doing. He was just a moron. And I still don't understand why he didn't get arrested. You know, you did that in any other Asian country. You walked up to a policeman. Police in Thailand are really, mate, honestly, you don't need to do that. I've got, wait a minute, is that 3?
Yeah.
Jack, have you sent 3? Listen, mate, I don't understand how we're doing this, but it looks like you've sent me 3 already. Honestly, don't. I don't know if you have, because I don't know what I'm doing here. When the other one come up, I thought that was a confirmation of the first one. But, mate, look, don't. You know, it's like, you know, I'm very grateful. But, you know, you make me feel like, you know, I don't know what to say. You know, it's like one of those things, you can't return the favour.
You have to save it, Simon.
Yeah, I tell you what, that's what we're doing, Jackstar, now, right? I tell you what, I'm going to say, Ellen, after this, we're going to have a Jackstar fund. And the money's going to go in there. I'm going to save it for when you come over, and we're going to hit the city. That's it, the Jackstar fund. We'll have that under the, yeah. There you go, there's the plan. Stick it in the jar. Look, he just said that. Stick it in the jar for when I come over. There you go. Great minds think alike, as you said. A mother from another brother. He just said that at the same time. You know, have you seen that?
I thought you have read it already.
No, I said that and it came up in here. I was just had the same idea.
Really?
Yes.
That's why I said it to you, that you can say that because I read it.
Oh, God, oh, there you go. I thought I'd had genius. She's saying she read it anyway. I don't know. I get confused. Ellen's Cheesecake Fund, yeah.
Hey.
I tell you what, you people are getting the wrong idea about Ellen. I keep getting all these comments. They mean, well, she's a keeper, she's this and that. You've got to realise, look at the look she's giving me now. There is a lot of editing that goes on in our videos. A lot of editing because there's a lot of moaning that goes on. I seem to have painted the perfect picture of all these people she's great and I think, God, you try and spend a couple of days with her, then you see how great she is. Now she's hitting me. See, I'm in an abusive relationship. Happy days, yeah. Ellen's Cheesecake Fan. Jackstar seems a nice bloke. Jim, Jackstar's an amazing bloke, you know, and I'm looking forward to meeting him. I'm looking forward to meeting you, Jim, but you keep promising you're coming and you never come. We never promised, you said you might. But maybe me and Jackstar will come over and visit you. Lukey Boy 7. Women can't live with them and can't live without them. Yeah. Yeah, no, you're right. But it is tempting to spend periods without them sometimes. But I don't consider Ellen a woman, to be honest with you. I think of her more as a silly little person. No, she's lovely. She's wonderful. She puts up with my moaning. Binderbar, Glenn, moaning. The Archers, where is the lovely Ellen currently? She is a woman of mystery. Well, she's hiding. She's hiding. I would flick the camera down, but she
haven't showered, Simon.
Okay, so her reason for not being on the picture is because she hasn't showered. Well, they're not going to be able to smell you on the phone, are they?
Sweating, haggard, I've been
She's shy. Yeah, Jackson, you should get on with Jim, mate. He's a good man. Jim and Glenn have been with me from the start. They are my first Brian Smout, a brother from another mother, not a mother from another brother.
Did you say that wrong?
Did I say mother from another brother? I'm an idiot.
You are.
As Ellen says, you are. It is amazing how much I misspeak. I always fancy myself as being a politician. But when I play my videos back, my God, you know, Freudian slips here. I talk a lot of crap. I don't know why. I'm probably not as bright as I thought I was, but yeah, no, I'm sure I said that. I don't think I said that. I didn't think I said that at the time. But in reality, faux pas are my middle name. Yeah. I thought I'd made another one then. Yeah. Brother from another mother. Did I say mother from another brother?
Chicken.
Is the lovely Ellen a Minook? A Minook. What does that mean?
I don't understand.
She doesn't understand.
That I'm a chicken? Why?
Oh, a chicken is in. She's scared to go on camera. Chickens are cowards in. I don't know why we call
Really?
chicken. I don't know what. Yeah, we in say UK you're a coward. In America you're a
But
chicken
why?
because we think chickens run away and that. But when you come over here, my God, they've got some brave roosters. They go and fight to the death over there. So I don't know why we say people are chicken if they're cowards. What's this say here? If you were to redo a mobile, would you have taken the aircon bus instead of a motorbike? No, absolutely not. God, wash your mouth. No. I didn't think you could get an aircon bus to Kenya.
I don't think so.
I know you can get them to Cebu. No, on the way there, I don't know what went wrong. It just seemed to take longer than it was. You know, like the first time you drive somewhere and you don't know where you're going, it always seems to take longer than when you do know where you're going. So the drive back was quite fun. We drove back, we didn't stop all the way, and then we decided, well, you'll see the vlog tomorrow. We went to, when I put it up, we went down to Oslo and spent the day in Oslo. So we drove like an extra half hour. And I didn't feel it at all yesterday. So I think it was just, yeah, it was just getting used to it. But now, no, I wouldn't get it. But I hate bus coach travel. Hate it. One thing I had been talking to Ellen about doing though, is we had a plan. We were going to drive. I had a plan. I wanted to drive up to Bacolod City on the scooter. It's about 6.5 hours, and that drive to is that another one?
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
That drive up to where am I talking about now? Mobile, that put me off it. You know, 1.5, 2 hours, 3 hours. But see, and the trouble is, I mean, I am well, you won't see it now, but on my legs, I've literally got white lines across where my shorts are, which has pissed Ellen off because she likes me looking what she says lovely and white. But I've said to her now, I want to get a tan again. So I'm going to be wearing a pair of the old Speedos tomorrow, doing the gardening, just to get the sun up, and get the suntan up. Not a problem. Good show. Bwok.
How did you find the hotel?
I enjoyed the Marlboro. It gives you a good idea. But how did you find the hotel? What do you mean? Do you mean how did I find the hotel? Was the experience, or how did I find it? As in get it online. In terms of how did we find it, it was all right. It was very basic, but it was good. I actually liked the hotel. The aircon was a bit noisy because when I went before with Ray, we've got a much better hotel, except it was a building site, but it was too far away. And I was determined not to drive. And because I'd been there before, I knew the area. So as soon as we were looking on I found that one on booking.com. I was looking at some of them, and the better ones, they were all like 2-3 kilometres away. And I thought, I don't want that. I want to be as close to that road as, because I knew when I was saying to Ellen, this is perfect because I know it looks a bit basic, but this is like literally a 2-minute walk into the town. So yeah, we found it on booking.com. Don't know why I looked on booking.com because I usually go with hotels.com or Agoda. It's the first time I've used booking.com. Don't know why, I can't remember why that was. So yeah, we found the room to be nice and we found it on hotels.com. There was another one that was close and that had a swimming pool. And it was a similar sort of price, not a big pool, but I thought all I need is to get a place where there's really loud music and people jumping in and out of the pool. Now it's going to be impossible to vlog, you know, if they've got music and that going. So I picked that place because it didn't have a pool, you know. What are you looking at? Because there was that other one around the corner. Remember there were two, they both got the same ratings, 4 out of 5
I
or 4.
questioning you, just looking at you.
Well, you're looking like as if you didn't know what I was talking about. But I think we chose the right place. Because it's a young place, Mulbo. I mean, I was the oldest there, so I mean, you know what I mean. It's like lots of hostels and things. I didn't want that.
Like young Europeans.
Lots of beautiful young European women who couldn't take their eyes off me. Ellen was very jealous. Women can't. Right, here we go. I've gone back up again. Right.
Adam Fuente.
If there was a You know, what, oh no, what's happened here? Why does that keep happening? Why does that keep happening?
Calm
No,
down.
I am calm.
Right there, nice. I love Oslo. That's it.
Nice, I love Oslo, chill vibes there. Well, mate, listen, I'm not going to speak badly of the place, because if it's for you, it's for you. And I had another mate over in Sicky Hall who used to swear by it. But I find it an incredibly boring place. As if you know, been a channel a while, Ray and I went over, we booked 2 nights, we left after 1 night. I took Ellen down there because we weren't in a rush to get back, and we thought we might try and catch a sunset down there. And the ferries go at about 10 o'clock, so we got down at about 2 o'clock. I showed her around, showed her where we stayed last time. We went to this cafe, said to her after a couple of hours, I said, do you want to come back here one weekend, spend a weekend here? And she was like, no, it's boring. So I guess it's what you're after, but for me, I mean, there really is nothing there. The only reason the hotels are there is because of the shark watching. If the shark watch, you know, it's not because of the beaches, because there aren't any beaches, you know, they're all like, it's all crap and there's no nightlife and, you know, but hey, listen, if you like it, mate, you like it. But for me, nothing against the place. It was all right for lunch, but I don't think I'll go to Oslo again. What's happened here? Why won't it move? Right, let me go back up.
Gentle.
Yeah, I'm being gentle. Right, what's your favourite city in the fields? Okay, Billy. I'm no expert. I've not been to many. I mean, the only cities I've been to are Cebu. No, I've been to Manila when I landed. I don't think it's for me, but I was only there for 1 night and I didn't travel. I just stayed in a hotel at the airport. I was in transit. But I've got no, you know what I mean? I've spent my life in cities, you know, so can't count Manila. Been to Cebu, couldn't stand it. Really didn't like Cebu City. You would have to pay me a considerable sum of money to live there. Well, not considerable sum, I'm quite cheap really, but I wouldn't live there through choice. So it makes me laugh, all these people that come saying, oh, you're an idiot, you should move to Cebu IT Park, and I don't want to, don't like it. So my favourite city would have to be Dumaguete City, because we live in Dumaguete City. But how it stacks up against other cities, I just don't know, because I've never been. So I'm not the right person to ask that, but I like Dumaguete. How did you get the info on renting it? We were talking about the hotel again. Well, there was no info.
Yeah.
I just went to bookings.com and I used to use hotels. I'm a gold member of hotels.com, so I've always used that because it used to be every 10 nights you got a free night and all this kind of crap, but they've done away with that. They've got thingy keys, one keys now, and they just don't have much choice. So the last couple of months I've moved on to Agoda. I use them a lot now. But I think that's what it was. I was looking at hotels which were close to the place and I typed in the name of the Three Sisters and it came up on booking.com. So I went there. First time I'd ever used them. So yeah, I didn't find the place through any genius. I just typed in mobile, the dates we're going, and a load of hotels come up, and then you Google to see, you know, where the hotels are. Don't do a live in your Speedos. Oh, come on, why not? That would be comedy gold, that, mate. They would be, yeah, I should do that. What do you reckon, Ellen? I do a stream with my gold budgies while I'm prancing around the garden. Okay, Billy, I used to live in Pitsanulo, but a few expats now looking for a change, thinking of moving to Cebu. Well, listen, Pitsanulo is one of my favourite cities. Well, if I've said many times, I don't know how new you are to the channel. I know I'm not sure you've been on the other live streams, but I recognise you. Obviously, you've commented before. If I was to go back to Thailand tomorrow for whatever reason, I would either move to Pitsanulo or Chiang Rai. Because I've always liked Pitsanulo. When we were in Petroban, we used to go up there to do the visa, you know, my visa extensions, because there never used to be an immigration office in Petroban. I know there is now. The nearest one was Pitsanulo. And we'd always stay a couple of nights, and I liked Pitsanulo. It seemed like, you know, big enough to have stuff always going on, but not too big, you know, all the traffic problems, and not full of, you know, a certain type of expat, etc. So yeah, I'd much rather live in Pitsanulo than Cebu, mate, to be honest with you. But hey ho, each to their own. Ha ha, reference to Euro women. Why are you laughing? It's true, they were looking at me. Ellen just couldn't realise it. Oh, we got loads of comments. I thought people had gone here. I'm sorry, chaps. I'm going to catch up now. This phone's telling me it keeps ringing. Jim, I have been the oldest here for years. If you arrived in Mobile, well, you're not. Well, you're not. Jim, listen. I'm not sure how old Nora is, but I always go by the saying, "You're as old as the woman you feel." So. If you just arrived in Mobile in the evening and had no place booked, would it be a problem to find a place in the evening? I don't know, mate. I don't think it would be too much of a problem. Never tried it, so I don't know. But I'm sure there would have been, some places at the inn. Definitely places at hostels. But I don't think the Philippines is the kind of place where they put room vacant signs up, like they do in the UK. I've never seen any. But I don't know. But I wouldn't panic. I'm sure if you ended up there, you would find somewhere. Because, when I looked, there were lots of vacancies in places. And I think it's low season there now.
Probably, but if you're like in the center, like really on the nightlife area.
There's a little person talking. I don't know if you can hear her because she's not got a microphone on.
Like really, if you're like, if you want to be in the nightlife area, I don't think Simon.
I
don't think you can find one if you're not booked yet.
I think
you're looking for the outside of.
Ellen thinks you couldn't. I think you could. It's the Philippines, mate. There will always be somewhere, and it's all a question of money, and it's not expensive. Which is a good city for dating. Davao, Cebu, maybe a city with less expats. I've got no idea, mate. I'm no expert. As I say to you, I hear Cebu is good for women, but I've never been to Davao. And Cebu, I've been there once to the city, and that was with Ellen. So, she wasn't interested in a threesome that weekend.
A what?
Which is unusual for her. So last week, was it a messy night after the afternoon session? With the live stream, mate, it was close to being. I don't know what snapped me out of that, because I'm one of these people. I'm quite happy not to have a drink. I don't drink like most. I'm having a beer tonight. But we got back from Mobile yesterday, didn't you? I don't drink in the house. This is the only time I drink in the house is when we're doing this. Because I can quite happily not have a drink. But if I have a drink, I don't want to stop. You know what I mean? I'm a social drinker. So if this going out for one or two beers is no good to me, I'd rather not go. If I go out, I like to hit it or not go. So that was one of those nights where I wasn't expecting to stay long. Then we had the brown out, so I couldn't go back. Then I had a few drinks with the live stream. Then I was, we ended up going somewhere else. And then it got to I think it was about 10 o'clock. And they were all going somewhere else because the place room were closed. And I said, well, where is it? And it was further up the mountain. And I just got on the bike and I thought, I told Ellen I'm coming home. I'm coming home. And I went home. And I still can't believe I did that because it's very unlike me. Usually I'd have gone off. So I got back about 10 o'clock. And I came in thinking I was going to get great points for coming back. And my God, I got the silent treatment and a fuss. She said, why don't you message me? Why don't you keep in touch? And I did message her. I said, I'm doing a live stream from the, yeah, but the live stream finished at 8, now it's 10. What time did you call this? My God, I'm 51. It's 10 o'clock at night. Anyway, I'm not going to relive that one. But anyway, there you go. I'm under the thumb. Did you guys get to Bohol Pangalao yet? Might as well get all of the central retires checked off the list. No, I'm not really a traveller. I'm a lazy man. I only went to Mobile because Ellen wanted to, go to a white beach and it wasn't very good. But no, Ellen's got work and I feel like I've got most of my travelling out of me. I mean, we all go to places, like for birthdays, and we might take Ellen's daughter to Sikihor in the next few weeks. But I don't really have much of an urge to go places. And I've got, the quizzes and things to do here. But I will, from time to time, with the right people, I'll do stuff. But I don't like, if I'm in the Philippines, I must go to Panama. If I stay here longer term, we'll do it all in time, you know what I mean? If you do it all too quickly, you've got nothing left to look forward to. So being single, what's the chance of, interviewing single guys, looking at perspective? I don't mean mongers. It's a sweetie pie.
Yeah.
Could you grab me my snooze, please? It's in the bedroom, I think. You know, the little pot with that. Well, that's a good one. I tell you, mate, I've got to get off my arse and be a bit braver in doing some of this questioning people. I've got to go down the boulevard and just ask people questions, because I think people are like that. And it's interesting, but I just don't like bothering people. But it answers your question. There are not a lot of single guys here that move in my circles. There just aren't, because most of the people in Dumaguete are here because they've met people from Dumaguete. Not all, but that tends to be why, you know, the expats come here. I mean, the good majority of them, they've ended up in Dumaguete because they've got in a relationship with a Filipino woman, and, you know, whether they're working for the same airline or they met on holiday or she came or whatever, and they've moved to Dumaguete or the surrounding areas because that's where their family comes from. That's why most of them are here. I wouldn't have thought you'd get many single guys, because why would you come here if you were coming here to be a single guy? Now, don't get me wrong, there are a few, like you get some older Americans who just like their own company, they like to go to the coffee shops. But if you're talking about guys who, you know, like to go out and, you know, party and do all that, there aren't many. But of the ones I know, they're very active, if you know what I mean. There was a guy next to me, an Australian guy, when I lived up Latinos. He was banging 2 women a day, at least one every day, too, because we live next door to him. We could hear him through the walls. Particularly when Ellen couldn't believe it. Every time she got to be a different one, and he was meeting him on Tinder. And he's gone. I think he's back in Cebu or something now. But his mate here is still here, and he's a good guy. He's a funny guy. I'm not going to mention his name, but he's got a sense of humour, but he's no looker, and he's a hell of a size, and I don't mean muscle. And every time I see him, he's with a different woman. And my mate Frank, I used to go out with him a lot. He's coming back now. He's moved up. He's got a job in Manila, starting in a couple of weeks. So he's going to come down and visit. He was a single guy. He was playing the field. So bottom basically saying to you, it's easy to play the field over here, if that's what you want to do. You know, as easy as anywhere in the world, really. But it's hard to interview people who are doing that, because a lot of people seem to be camera shy over here, and there aren't that many of them. But I will keep a lookout. It's a good idea. When you come, I shall interview you and ask your views on that kind of thing. But trust me, mate, if you're coming here and you want to meet women, you will have no problems whatsoever. Absolutely no problems whatsoever. Because you're clearly a clever guy, sensible guy, you know, a wealthy guy. It's like, they'll be trying to fight him off you, mate. But literally, I'll be having to brush them away with a stick. But what about a hot tub live stream? And when we are going to see more of your dance moves? Did you see the dance moves, mate? I tell you,
a lot of people are watching you.
Yeah, I tell you what though. For a guy who's 53 years old, I can still move. I don't know what you saw, because when I played back some of the live stream, because I deleted it ever so quickly, and I was like, you could see my shoulder now, but thank God you could only see my shoulder, because I didn't have anything on, mate. I was shaking all over the place. But there you go. And I never do that. I was just in a good mood. It's because I don't drink much. But you have to show me your dance moves when you come down, Simon. Aren't you coming in the next couple of weeks? Chicken on biscuits. How about you yell into a mirror like you are your own enemy with a bottle of gin for dramatics? Well, I don't know why I read that out. How about I don't? She is 66. All right, well, there you go. She doesn't look 66. No, 66. Jesus. She's in good shape for 66, mate. Adam Fente's laughing at something. I'm not sure what he's laughing at, but if I made you laugh, I'm very happy. The Archers. Is the leprechaun talking from off camera? Yes, she was. Binderbar, Andy Cap. Andy Cap, remember that? What newspaper was that? Was it the Express? Simon Peters. That's my name, Simon Peter, believe it or not. Simon Peter. Yeah. Well, it is. Why are you laughing? She used to call me Simon Peter for a while, because she says, why do you never let anyone, why don't you tell people the name's Simon Peter? I said, because it sounds ridiculous. You know, it's, anyway, maybe yours is Simon Peter as well. But that was my mother's idea. She was a very staunch Catholic, So I was Simon Peter, but I've changed it to a middle name now. It says Simon Peter on my birth certificate, but everything else passport says Simon Peter. Yeah. Have you considered getting your wife a UK visa in case you ever need to come back? I'm not married. Which wife? You know, which wife? I'm not married, mate. So no, I'm not married, and we don't have any plans to get married, and I have no intention to move back to the UK. So no, I have never considered that. Just asking, would you move to Thailand with your other half? Who knows what the future holds? I've always thought I would end up back in Thailand, but I'm not missing it. I always thought I would. And you know, things change. You can fall more in love with places, you can fall out of love with places. I don't know. Ellen now has no interest in moving to Thailand because of her daughter and things like that, her job. But who knows, in 10 years' time, Kayla might be married, Ellen might not be working anymore. You just don't know what the future holds, do you? We might not be together. I mean, there's a million things that could happen. But at this moment in time, she wouldn't do it. And if I was to split up, if we were to split up tomorrow, I wouldn't be going back to Thailand, as I've said before. So, I mean, it's not really something that we think about. Although I have said to her a few times, because she's an English teacher, qualified teacher. I mean, she's a teacher, as in she did a degree in teaching, so she could get a job over there teaching. What the hell is wrong with her water pump? So she could get work over there, but she has no interest. Because that's another thing, you see. If I did go with her, because we're not married and she came with me, I've got no idea how the visa work. I know the visa people can sort things out there, but I think if I got a retirement visa, you can get your dependents, but if you're not married to her and she's not your daughter, I'm not sure if she classes as a dependent, but it's not something I've looked into. Have you been to Leyte? No, I've not been anywhere other than Sigihor, Cebu and here. We are planning on retiring in Omak. We have bought a house off plan there. Well, I hope it works out for you, mate. I've never been there. I've heard of Leyte. I know it's supposed to be quite a poor area in terms of, like, you know, one of the poor areas in the Philippines. Might have got that wrong, but regular guys seem to think it was. So hopefully you got a good deal on the house. But no, mate, I mean, good luck with your retirement. But no, I've not been there. Proper geezer, how you doing, brother? DIY specialist. I'm doing well, mate. How are you? Being lucky, I hope. Nice for you to join the chat. Nice one, pal. You seem to be moving in the circles that I'd be certainly looking for. Good people to be around, if you get me. Yeah. I get, mate. Yeah. No, I've been very, very pleasantly surprised by the people I've met here, expats and that. You know, I've got a good circle of friends. None of them are like close friends in the sense that, you know, like, you know, I mean, I just, you know, it's only the last couple of months I found out a lot of things about them. Some of them have been very naughty boys in the Philippines over the years, and that's blown my mind. I went out with a guy I know the other day, and he was telling me stories. They keep telling me stories about, because some of the guys I know have been here like 20 years plus. One of the guys has been here 30 years plus. And my God, some of the things, because they're a bit older now, but some of the things they've got up to over here and got away with is quite mind-blowing. But yeah, they're all good guys, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's not like, when I was in Thailand, I had a couple of very good expat friends. We spent a lot of time together. Here, I've got about, I don't know, 20 guys who I could go down the thing and, like, when the quiz finishes, you fancy going for a drink somewhere. So it's a nice branch, but we don't, there's a lot of them, they go out, like, for, you know, meals as couples and that, you know, a couple of times a week. We've not really got into that. Ellen's a bit shy, and I'm not too keen to. Not that they're not all great people, it's just that's not, like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be too... That's why a lot of people say here, why are we living here? Why don't you move into one of the gated communities? I don't want to be surrounded by expats, if you know what I mean. I like to go out and socialise, but then when I finish socialising, I come back, I like to be away from it. Does that make me sound weird? I think I'm probably not explaining it very well. What about over there in... can't think what it's called now. God, I can't remember where you are. I know where you are. You're up on the border. What the hell is it? Udon Thani. What's the expat community like there? I know there must be some expats because I know I've got the tower blocks and that, but you've got a good circle there? Are they all kind of like patio guys, if you know what I mean? or is it a bit more? Is it a bit more? Like well, you know what I'm saying. Hey, Paul K, how you doing, brother? Come here single and travel around figuring out what you like and what you can and can't handle. Then once you figure out where you want to live, then you find a woman, as they all want to live by family. Not all of them, mate. Ellen doesn't. That's why she's in Dumagetti. But Paul, do we know each other? Because you've made a few comments because I know you've been commenting a lot recently. I've been chatting with you in the chats, but you've made a few comments about Sideways and the quiz. And I've been trying to place it in my mind from your photograph on YouTube. I'm guessing from some of the things you said we must have met in Sideways. Because the last couple of quiz nights, because you mentioned the quiz on Thursdays, I've been looking around thinking, is Paul here? Is Paul here? But I've not seen you. Don't tell her I told you. I won't, Jim. I will not tell her I told you. Oh, it was a mirror handicap. Nora will never hear a word from me, mate, until she watches this. The mirror, it was a mirror, okay. I was aware I used to have a rubber handicap doll when I was a kid. But I didn't know what it was from. I just knew he was a comic strip. I made some buddies in Cebu. This is Adam Fuente in the... How do you pronounce your name? Fente or Fent? It must be Fente. But Ellen's saying Fente. Fente. I made some buddies in Cebu that are in their 70s and 80s. The stories they tell me about their time in Thailand and the fields. Yeah, lawless place, mate. Lawless place. Paul, I ended up in Valencia when I came to meet and greet Paul Old Dog and Mark Thornton. Then ended up meeting my girl. So fast forward, I moved there 1 year ago. Right. Jackstar, a bit of a mix to. Is Jackstar the last? Yeah. I've caught up now. A bit of a mix, to be honest. I hear you about friends. Not weird at all. Good man. Because, The thing about expat circles is, and a great bunch of expats here, but you're kind of thrown together. And that's a good thing if they're decent people. But you know what I mean? In the UK and that, you pick your friends. And I've always had 6 or 7 really close friends. And we see eye to eye on almost anything. Trouble I found, particularly in the Philippines, is when you get to know people too well, you start to realise the different views you have on things, you know what I mean? And everyone's entitled to their own, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that was always why I avoid expat circles when I lived up in Petribun, because there weren't any expats where I lived, but there was a hotel called Homelands. And all the expats from the surrounding area would go there on a Sunday and they'd meet for a couple of hours. And I went down once and I thought, no, this is not for me. I mainly mixed with Thais over there. And I had one friend that used to go there on the Sundays, and every week he'd be telling me this guy's fallen out with this guy over this, and half of them were with him, and now it's getting all bitchy. And I thought, I want nothing to do with that, you know what I mean? I've always kind of avoided that because it's... I can do without it. Adam Fenty, Ellen has the correct pronunciation. Well, there you go. Even a stop clock tells the right time twice a day. And I explained that to her the other day. I'm not sure if he remembers what I said. Jackstar, my farm's up there. I'm back in the UK, just finished a contract. Then a bit of business travel, India, Hong Kong, maybe China and Kenya for a few months. You are an interesting fella. A contract. You're not an assassin, are you? That would...
you call that bounty thingy?
What? Bounty? No, bounty hunter. Yeah. That's not bounty. No. You're not like a hired gunman or something, are you? You go in... Is that the alibi? That's why you send the cash over. You got like the device set up, so when you're shooting someone, you can say, "No, look, I was on a live stream. There you go." So that's I'm your alibi. But India, Hong Kong, maybe China and Kenya for a few months. I'd give China a miss if I was you. But you've probably already been there, but I'm not a fan of China. Never been to Hong Kong. Christ, you do some travelling, mate. You are, considering we're the same age, you must have a lot more energy than I have. What an exciting life you lead. Expat crap. Don't let any expat get too close to you in the Philippines. unless he is from another Asian country. They all talk yap yap. Well, I don't know many expats from other Asian countries. In fact, I don't think I know any expats from other Asian countries. But there you go. Paul the plumber from Trivia Night. Yeah, we met as you're a nice guy. As I will come down again Thursday, but hang out with your girl. Were you there? Were you there last Thursday? You don't play with the heretics, do you? Paul the plumber. I'm very confused now. Because is that not a Monday night quiz name? Because there was a guy with the heretics last week, and I thought that doesn't look like you, but I don't know. He was the only guy there. I didn't know who it was. Paul the plumber. Yeah, I've never had a Paul the plumber play in my quiz. There you go. Well, hopefully see you this Thursday. Because I did country and western round last week. I know you're an American chap. If you liked your country and western, that was the way to do it. Jack Star, expat drama, mate, stay away, huh? Yeah, no, it is some of the shit they fall out with. You know, it's I mean, at the moment there is a bit of friction growing with what's going on with him, you know, with the tariffs and all that between the Americans and certain things. And I get that. I can understand why people are getting upset and that. You know, it's one of the few times when I've seen arguments and that, I think, yeah, I know why that is happening. But by Christ, half the time it's a load of nonsense, absolute girly stuff. Yeah, it's funny. It is funny. It is nonsense. Grown men. I don't get it. I mean, I not so long ago, I had to. I went to. Should I say this or not? I'm going to say it. Sorry. I got invited to watch a boxing match at a guy's house, and I got there, and there'd been an argument. I didn't realise there'd been an argument. I sat between these two guys, and I just noticed one of them wasn't talking, and I turned around to him and says, "You all right? You ain't said anything." I'm not going to say his name. And he's like, "Well, that motherfucker just called me this and blah, blah, blah." And I'm, "Oh, wait a minute." And I didn't realise I'd sat in the middle of it and everyone's looking. And it calmed down. But then it kicked off about an hour later, and I had to me and the guy's house it was, we had to wrestle the two apart. And they were like, these guys are in like their late 60s, early 70s. I mean, it was ridiculous. It's, you know, and he was over some ex-girlfriend. It's just nonsense. The funny thing is, I tell you, I had a few too many beers. And I shouldn't say this, I'm like right idiot. But I was a little bit drunk. But when I jumped up, I grabbed hold of one of them like that. And I had his arms behind me. I said, just calm down. And he was calm, then he let go. Then he swung round to try and grab me. I knocked him on the table. I said, "You're nicked." I realised what I said. Jesus Christ, how jack was I? Anyway, there you go. I just saw a documentary on ghost guns in Danau Cebu. Maybe Jack Star has some connections. Maybe. He's starting to scare me now. I get my head blown off. Now I know what the very funny bit was like. Got you. Mate, I was in China for about 7 weeks. Wow. Hard work. Did like 3 visits a day to different business. Well, there you go, mate. You're going there on business. I don't know if you watched my video. I got deported from China about 5 years. Long story. If you're interested, watch me a video. But that 2 weeks in China was the worst 2 weeks of my life by a long way. I will never go. Well, I can't go back to that country because I was I banned for 10 years? I don't know. But even when the ban is over, I'm not going to go. Although some people have said to me on YouTube, because I made a video saying what happened to me, they reckon they were saying never fly an airline that stops off in China on the way back because they'll have you on fire and they'll get you for what you were saying about, you know, when you got grabbed and that over there. So I don't know. But I can't stand the place. But there you go, mate. You are a jet-setting businessman. You shouldn't call yourself Jack Star. You should call yourself Jet Jack or Jet. That's a stupid idea, anyway. But the Jet Star. You are travelling around the world doing business. I take my hat off to you. Expat crap. A lot of Taiwanese visit the Philippines for recreational purposes. They're decent chaps. Well, I'm sure they are, but I don't think not many people visit. I'm going to put Jack Stowe off now. Not many people visit Dumaguete for tourism purposes. I mean, there are a lot of hotels here, and I don't know who stays there. I think it's like a transit point. You know, you might fly down if you're going over to Siki or have a night here or whatever, but it's not. You know, it's not a holiday location. So certainly don't think there's any Taiwanese here. Jack Stowe, Adam, is that a ghost gun? Yeah, looks like a ghost gun. My eyesight's terrible. A ghost gun icon. I'm amazed they've got them on YouTube. I'd have to get a 3D printer. Well, I saw a documentary a couple of weeks ago and they had this gun show where all these ghost guns, like they'd made all these ghost guns and that, and they were firing them off. And Christ, they were shit. They all were having stoppages, and I couldn't see the point in them, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, if you are a criminal and can't get a gun, aren't you better buy an illegal one, like, you know, sanding the serial number off? I mean, those ghost guns were not impressive. I mean, they looked the part, but they kept jamming and breaking. Paul, most of my friends here are Filipinos and girlfriends, familiars. They're upper middle class. Dad on the Barangay Council. Brother works on Phil Health. Brother-in-law PNP. Captain, head of security, congressman. There you go, you're moving in bigger circles. A lot of people are, though. A lot of expats I know here are like, I'm not going to say who they are, but they're married to very high-ranking people in, like, you know, the police, the government. It's amazing how many of these high society Filipinos seem to want to marry expats. There you go. Paul, you must be new to the country. We all connected in the Philippines. Okay. Some people never grow up, just grow old. That is true. I think I'm one of those people. I'd like to think I'm one of those people, but I am aging, not just physically. Jack Star, yeah, pal, I watched that, found it funny, the way you told the story. Oh, well, you watched it, I thought you were talking about the ghost gun thing. Oh, yeah, the China one. Oh, mate, I tell you, Christ on a bite. That bloody country. I didn't say the half of it on there. There were a few bits. I'll tell you when you come over, which I didn't want to put on the channel. But my God, that place. No, I tell you. Yeah, China and Russia are the only two places I've been to in the world where I thought I would not live here. But with Russia, I've had a few friends who've been there and taught English and that and had really good times. So maybe I only went for like weekends and things, and I like Eastern European countries. You know, I like Poland, I like Bulgaria, I like Romania, but Russia, no. Expat crap. They travel through Dumaguete. I met one there, and we travelled back and forth on a bus to Bacolod together. My God, they're travelling over here and getting buses to Bacolod. That's a long journey. I won't want to do that. Well, there you go. You obviously know more people than me. I have not met any Taiwanese. I've not been looking for any Taiwanese people, but if I met one, I will bear in mind what you said, and I will be extra friendly, double friendly. Several years coming and lived in Cebu and Valencia for the last year. If that's new. Well, I don't know. That's for expat crap to answer. I don't think that's you, mate. I think you've been here a while. What's up, mate? Just got here. How you doing, Jerry? How's life over on the island? I know you're in Cebu, but I can't remember where in Cebu you are. But yeah, there you go. You're in like a far more provincey place than we are, aren't you? Because I know you said before there aren't many expats where you are. But thanks for coming, mate. Paul, the amount of times I had dinner with congressmen and wealthy well, there you go. I'm gonna stay out of this one. You expat crap and Paul can chat away. I don't want to. Two's company, three's a crowd. But carry on, fellas. Bin the bar. I worked in China and Russia was okay. Okay. No, I mean, yeah. I mean, listen, but that's a bit different, isn't it? I mean, I used to have a security company for a haulage firm. They were a big haulage firm. I'm not going to mention any of the names of the companies, but we did the security in all their depots, and they had some big contracts. They supplied Apple throughout the whole of Europe. They were an Irish company. I'm not going to say any more than that. And they had offices and depots in Russia, and I used to deal with their transport director a lot. He was a good guy, and he had lived in Russia. I think he'd been there about 3 years at one stage before, because then he was in Tilburg in Holland when I worked with him, and he told me the stories. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's a big difference between wanting to work somewhere, wanting to live somewhere, and wanting to work somewhere. I mean, back in my working days, yeah, if I got a good contract to work in Russia, you know, I would work in Russia. And I'm sure, you know, if you work there for a while, I mean, I don't think there's any country in the world I wouldn't, well, North Korea, obviously not. You know, back in the days, the business days, if you know what I mean. But I'm talking about countries I would choose to live. You know, I would, you know, it's like, you know, Russia, was not for me, you know, in terms of, but yeah, if it was a job. So, I mean, yeah, I'm sure, you know, if the money's good and you've got a good job, you know, it's like, that's always makes me laugh when people say, why are you here? And this is a better city and that's a better city and you should move here. Let's be honest, fellas, you tend to live in places for reasons. You know, we're not kids, you live there because you've got a business there, or your job's there, or your wife comes there, you know. You know, if everyone lived in the best possible city in the world, then you'd have nowhere to go on holiday, would you? Right. Did you get your glasses done in Asia? What was the cost? I did get my glasses done in Asia. They're expensive in the sense, when I got my glasses, because I only had wore glasses for about, I don't know, about 6 years now. And I got my glasses from Glasses Direct in the UK, which I thought were brilliant. You know, I went mad when I got my glasses. I didn't want to wear glasses. I might go to contact lenses now, but I've not asked about them over here. But I thought getting them, and then when I joined, got the prescription, I had to have them. I went to Glasses Direct, and their deals are so good. Within about 4 months, I had 8 pairs of glasses, because I was getting like different tints to match different clothes and different designs and things. And because you get, like, you know, the designer frames, and they're like 50% off the frame or the lens, you know. So I just went glasses mad. When I came over with about like 7 pairs of glasses. But the prescription's changed now. I'm weaker in that eye than I was. So I had to get glasses done over here. And I got these, and they were about the same price as the ones with Glasses Direct in the UK. But they were not designer lenses, had designer frames, and they're not the best lenses. I mean, I went for the standard ones, because to get the advanced ones would have cost more than the UK. And I thought, sod that, you know, because I only got the basic lenses in the UK because I had so many pairs of glasses. But to get, like, you know, a designer frame over here, and to get, you know, the top lenses they do, would, I think it would be at least 2 to 3 times more than Glasses Direct. Would it be more expensive than going to, there's hearts coming up here, I don't know who's selling those, but thanks for the hearts. Would it be more expensive than going to an online, to like a high street? Because let's face it, the high street opticians cost twice as much as the online ones. I've got no idea. But these lenses are scratched already. And Ellen was saying, like, you've got a scratch on there. No, thank you. She's offering me some cake. She's so lovely. But I'm thinking I'm going to order some glass. Now I've got a prescription from this lot. I think I'm going to order some in the UK and just get them sent over here. So what am I saying to you then? I'm saying to you, the online ones in the UK are better. If you go to the right company, I mean, some are bad, but Glasses Direct are always very good. They measure your pupils and all this. So, you know, I know some don't. I've got no complaints about them. And they send you the glasses, you've got 90 days to return them, no questions asked. Is it more expensive here than, probably to get them, a good set of glasses, designer frames here, would cost about the same or a little bit more than it would from a high street optician in the UK. I hope I've answered that. Inawan, I remember it now, Inawan Sabu, living in a boring family life. It's like the boring family life. You sound like you've got fun, mate. You always seem happy. You like your afternoon naps, as you were telling me the other day, if you know what I mean. Sounds like you're living the life. Cobra, Yahoo Ducky. Well, hello. Hello. What are we drinking? We are drinking Red Horse. That's what one drinks on a live stream night. I don't drink Red Horse when I go into town or in the city or anything like that because I'm on the scooter. But when I'm in the house, when Tuesday night's a Red Horse night. Although someone has told me they're really bad for your kidneys, they produce kidney stones and things. But surely not once a week. Cobra gin and tonic. I hate gin and tonic. Or maybe you're asking him what he was drinking. Let's Eat Filipino. Hey Simon, Simon here. Hello Simon. I tried to catch your live streams when I can. Any plans on going back to England to visit? I went back last year for the first time in 10 years, lots of changes. I am going to go back. I'm planning to go back within the next year. I'm not sure how long for. I'm not expecting too many changes because I came from the UK to here. So if I go back, say in a year, that'll be 2.5 years. So I've only been away 2.5 years. I don't think it could have changed that much. I've never been away from the UK for more than about 3 years, because when I was in Thailand I went back a few times, so I don't think I've ever been away for more than 3 years in a row. Maybe I have, my memory's awful, but I've never found it any different. People keep telling me, oh, this has changed and that has changed and this has gone to the dogs and that. Never found that. I've never noticed that. To me, things have improved. Places I used to live, my God, the places I grew up, they're now like Docklands and that, little tower blocks and things. I mean, they've all become yuppie, it's like everything's gone up. So, I mean, I don't know. I suppose it depends where you go. The quality of the glasses here are crap, and I needed them since I became... Yeah, I'm not impressed with these ones. I'm not impressed with these ones. The lenses and everything are all scratched up now, and I've not done anything to scratch them up. I don't understand why they're like this. I still see them all right, but Ellen keeps telling me... Sorry?
And how many months have you been using that?
I don't know, 7 months, 8 months. And the glasses I got, the last were about like a few years. They don't seem to do glasses or lenses well in Asia. Not sure why. Well, I've heard good things about them in Thailand, but I only got glasses when I went back to the UK just before COVID. And as I say, I got them from Glasses Direct, so I've never had any experience with opticians in Thailand. One thing about the ones over here is the machinery is so much more advanced. When I had my eye tests in the UK, I went to a place called Scrivens. I think they're nationwide, I don't know. But the optician was good, but it took like about half an hour, and they put all these, like lenses and try different things. Here you just go in, you look in the machine, they say follow the lights, you're there for about 2 minutes and they can give you your prescription. It's all done by this machine, which I thought was bullshit. But then when I got my glasses, they were fine. So they just haven't lasted well. The lenses seem to scratch. Man, they don't seem to do glasses or lenses. I'm not sure why. I don't know what's going on here, but it says this message has been held for review. View message. Well, oh, I'm looking forward to this one. This must be insulting. View message. Potentially inappropriate message are held for review. Got it. Well, it's not let me view it. But does that mean my messages have stopped after that one? Has everyone gone? Am I still online?
Last was from Man.
Yeah, that's the last one I had. It says I can view the message. Am I still online? I am still online. Show, right. Oh, gonna be worse if you go back to the UK with the maggot starmer. Oh, do me a favour.
See the new comment now?
Alright, there we go. Cobra. Bollocks. It's only been 1 year since I left the US. My first out of the country. Not in a rush to get back, but I already have my list of things to do before I come back to Asia. What did you do before you came to the when you left the US then? What were you doing before then? Are you ex-military? A lot of you ex-military lads down there. All gold. Does Ellen drink Red Horse? No, she does not. Ellen is not a drinker. Ellen is not a drinker. And by God, I've tried to corrupt her. But it doesn't work. Stan, Ellen only drinks Tanduay. She doesn't drink Tanduay. Is Jack, Star, Jim and Glenn still there. You guys have gone silent. If you've gone, I don't blame you, because I do get boring after a while. But, oh, you are still there. I was about to say, I've not heard from any of the old constants for a while. I'm struggling to read it now. I get dry eyes. That's one of the problems with my glasses. I have to put drops in every so often. And in fact, I work online. So you're working online before you... so you're still working now? Because I noticed, I had a little look on your YouTube channel the other day when you were commenting. Looks like you've got a good life, mate, but you look quite young. Jack, so Mucker, any more trips planned, buddy? Also, what's the plan this week? You've got a busy one. Not as busy as yours, my friend. No. I'm taking it easy because we went away, obviously, for the weekend. I'm having a calm one next few days because I've fallen behind with the quiz and the vlogging and all the rest of it, getting some stuff done. So we've got the quiz on Thursday. We'll go out for dinner Friday. And Ellen's daughter's coming down to stay with us for a few weeks. So I think we will be doing family things like the following week. I'm not sure yet, but we will do some stuff. I'm sure make some videos, but no, nothing planned. In terms of trips, Ellen's quite keen to take Kayla over to Sikihor, so we might do a trip to Sikihor. But no more trips. I mean, we're still planning on going to Thailand at some stage. I don't know. No trips planned. Got a few people coming to see us, so you've been one of them. So it's like fitting dates around people coming over and all the rest of it, you know. But no, I don't need a jet lifestyle like you, Cobra. Wowzer, you are a Starmer fanboy. No, I'm not a Starmer fanboy, mate. I'm just a Labour man. Yeah, worked online since before pandemic and still am. Just turned 30 a month ago. Well, there you go. Good for you. Man, do you have any dental problems? Thank God, no. I've never had a filling. I have never lost a tooth. I've never had toothache. The only pain I've ever had in my teeth is that it's gone now, but I had them whitened when I first came here. And, gosh, that was painful. My gums swelled up and all the rest of that. I don't think I'd have that done again. But no, and it's all gone now. But no, never had toothache, never, yeah, very lucky like that. Said that now, next time I'm going to have a throbbing tooth because I've said that. You still need that VPN box for Thailand. You still need that VPN box for Thailand? What's that mean? You lost me, Stan. Are you talking to someone else? What VPN box for Thailand? I'm a bit slow on the uptake when I've had a beer. You know, I'm a bit slow on the uptake when I've had a beer. I don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, school's out. 3 kids here. Yeah. Happy days, mate. Happy days. Happy days. Nothing like the joy of tiny feet running around the house. My Duma trip is real small now. Most of the girlfriends leave was cancelled. What's happened here? Where's that gone? Most of the girlfriends leave was cancelled, but I am coming in April 18th and going back on the 20th evening. Hopefully, I could sneak in a beer. Well, if you're here, mate, I'll have a beer with you. I suggest we lay off the shots this time, though, because we don't want you falling over and hurting yourself again. I felt bad about that, to be honest with you. When you said that, because you had said to me before you didn't like getting in and out of the trike, so when you banged your head getting in, well, obviously you told me about it. I did feel bad about that. I'm not laughing. I genuinely feel bad about that. But I should have done that. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I started all of those shots in the Boo Garden. I was just in a good mood. Boo Garden's not the same as it used to be. I don't really go there anymore. Shouldn't say stuff like that, should I? I know people who watch this. That's going to get back to Andy, and I'm going to be in trouble. Glad I know. Well, if you're glad you know, there you go. Sounds good. I'll be thinking of you while daughters are emptying my wallet in NYC. I bet they are, mate. I tell you, I bet you spoil them. Yeah, I bet you do. And I bet New York City is a place where you can do some spoiling. Be like London, isn't it? I mean, there must be so much you can spend your cash on. Do you see them much? I mean, obviously the fact you're taking them away, obviously you're close to them if you're going back and taking them on holidays. But is it a question of like you only see them a few times a year, so you go back and you take them on holiday, or do you like, you know, and like spoil them, or do you see them regularly? No fillings, and you're 50. That's incredible. 53. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's that incredible these days. Used to be. I used to be proud of that. But I've met a few people over the years. One of my mate's wife. She's only 2 years younger than me. She's never had a filling. But what I put it down to is when I was younger, my mother was quite strict on sweets. But when I was a kid, she had my teeth painted in fluoride. It was some dentist thing, and I used to get it done every 3 months or 6 months or whatever, and it tasted bloody awful. They put these gums and they do this fluoride thing with it. And she had them do that to me, like, you know, for like 3 or 4 years. She was a strange fish, my mother. Well, I say was, she's still alive. She is a strange fish, my mother. Every time I see her now, or I talk to her, she'll ask, you know, have been a dentist, and she'll say, it's because I had fluoride on your teeth when you were younger. Whether she's right or not, I do not know. Ellen needs to fake she works from PH, you said once. Ellen needs to fake she works from... Oh, now I understand, Stan. Now I understand. Yeah, now I get you. I don't... Unless I knew someone who was really good on IT equipment. Yeah, because that would be good. Because if we could do that, we could go places and holidays and things, and she wouldn't have to take time off work. But yeah, I'm not a technical person, but yeah, because theoretically, she could only work if she's got a... what do you call it? An ADL line, ADS, LDL.
Cable.
Well,
Ethernet.
yeah, but there's an Ethernet cable, but it's called an ADSL.
Yeah,
but it's called an ADSL cable.
For me to work, I also need to like connect it to our VPN, and they're gonna know if I'm like outside the Philippines because I need to be connected to that VPN.
Well, I know that. I'm about to explain it. You start. You're saying I'm having two conversations at once, but I know that. I was about to say that. Yeah, the trouble is, she has to work an ADSL line or an Ethernet cable or whatever you call it. But we worked out our way around that, or she did. She's got a what do you call it? A transponder. What's that little box called?
Extender.
She's got an extender, and that fools them that there's an Ethernet cable. But we have tried with a couple of VPNs I've got to fool them with somewhere else, but it doesn't work because her own company has got its own firewall, and somehow that picks up on that she's using a firewall. Because we tried it, I can't remember who are we with now, we're with Proton now, and I used to be with ExpressVPN, and we tried to log on using that, saying she was in the Philippines, and she couldn't log on. Their VPN was picking up that she was using a VPN. So at that point, we came to the conclusion that there was no way around that because we'd fixed it with the extender. But if you've got any, but if you've got a way of fixing that, mate, then we'll talk about that. Message me, and yeah, I'll be, you know, any help you can give us an advice with that would be fantastic. But that seems to be the problem. It's the firewall that somehow their firewall, not firewall, I'm talking nonsense. Their VPN picks up when you use another VPN. Doesn't pick up in the extender. She doesn't need to. She's not plugged in with a cable. Because when I was living in my old apartment there, we had to put a cable through the window at night to plug it into the router. Now, since she's got a couple of extenders, we can go and stay in hotels. We can use wireless or whatever. But I've tested it a few times. I've hooked up to my VPN and that, you know, to try and make it look like we're in Manila or whatever, and just won't let her in. Just won't let her. The system won't accept her. Got some alone time. She's pissed. The kids have aircon now. She's pissed. She likes to drink, does she? Obviously. See, the trouble is, when an American says that, pissed in English means something different to pissed in America. I mean, you might know that, but if an English guy would say to me, my wife's pissed, that would mean she was drunk. So I don't know if you're using my terminology when you say she's pissed as in she's angry, or you mean she's pissed as in she's drunk. So please clarify, and then I will know how to give the appropriate response. But someone says their wife's pissed. These days and age, I don't know what they mean, whether it's the British sense or the American sense. I think the fluoride would have fixed it. Lucky you, smart mother. Do you think that's what it was? Might be. It was a fluoride coating But we're going back a long time, Glenn. I mean, that would have been like, 45, 47 years now. I don't think I had it after I had that when we were living in Chigwell. After that, I don't think I ever had it. But I used to hate going to that dentist. And I tell you, I might need fillings if I went back to the dentist. This is a true story. I do not stand. The VPN was installed on a computer itself. No, not installed on a computer. It was ExpressVPN, and the one I'm in now, Proton VPN. I'm allowed to have multiple, what they call it, multiple users or whatever. So she just installed VPN on hers, and we just logged into. You pick when you log on, when you go on, you just pick the server you want to be going through, where you want to appear to be. And we did it that way. And I tried it in Manila. I tried it with 4 or 5 different ones in the Philippines, and it wouldn't let you in. As soon as we took her out of the VPN, logged straight away. So it doesn't pick up on the extender, but it picks up on the fact you're using a VPN somehow. She's mad, yeah. I can't read her mind, lol. I know that feeling. Mona, big thanks to you and Ellen because of the content you provide. I travelled to the Philippines 2 months ago. Absolutely love it. Currently making plans to return for a long-term stay in Bohol. Well, thanks for the compliment, mate. We're very happy you enjoy the content. Warms our hearts, and good luck in Bohol, mate. Have a great time. No, she didn't have 2 VPNs running on her computer. I was just with ExpressVPN, but then when my subscription finished, I changed to Proton. So we tried it with Proton and had the same problems.
Yeah, but currently I have one for my company in order for me to...
Ah, yes. Actually, she just said, yes, she has got a VPN running on her computer because she has to use the one her company provides her with. So maybe that's the problem. Yeah, she has to use a VPN which her company has put on her computer. I thought you meant we were using Proton and Express at the same time. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's how it knows then, because yeah, she has to use her company VPN. Yeah, one from work and one from me. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. In many parts of the UK, they put fluoride in the drinking water for dental care. Yeah, I know that, and a lot of people get very upset about that, don't they? Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. So the trouble with the world is these days, I'm going to give my favourite quote now. There is too many people in the world know enough about a subject to believe they're right, but not enough about a subject to understand why they're wrong. I love that quote. So when you get the fluoride in the water, I've had people in the past tell me what a terrible thing that is and how bad it is and how they shouldn't do it. And you sit there and think, okay, well, you're not a doctor and you're not a dentist. And you've got no medical or scientific training. So how are you so sure it's not good for you? Because me, I haven't got a clue. You know what I mean? The debates you'll have when you go down to do Magetti, when they'll be telling you this about this didn't happen, that didn't happen, this isn't true because they like watched a video on YouTube or something. And I say to them, look, I am not an expert in that field. How do I know? But I'm going to listen to experts in that field over someone who tells me in a bar they've done a bit of research. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. I know some places put fluoride in the water. They must have a reason for doing it. Whether it's a right reason or not, I do not know. But I also know a lot of people get upset by it. I got a dental filling last year in Da Nang, Vietnam, for examination, cleaning and filling. It cost me $8. Gotta love it. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Sounds a bit like Thailand. Healthcare is amazing in Thailand. Sounds like it's in Vietnam. It's a bag of shit here. But there you go. Jack Star, how's the road into your place? Now, well, there you go. There you go. Good question. Good and bad. Because we went to look at another place the other day. See, I don't want to leave here. So far, the cockles they've either not arrived or they're not bothering us yet. And as I say, a cockle makes a noise. What are the chances of that? But we have had no increased noise on cockles. Now, the road out the front is There you go. Could you script it? It's undrivable. It's like the other night we came back. I have to go on my feet. The sand is about 2 foot deeper than it is. How deep is that sand, Ellen? Coming back on from Sigil, from Mobile. Ellen. What she says, I'm talking. She says she should watch her. I'm saying the road was a nightmare when we came back. The sand on, yeah. It's like it's got so much deeper. It is literally. I'm not joking. It's a couple of feet deep now, and I nearly went off twice. I was going slow. You've got to like put your feet either side. And I said to Ellen, "This is ridiculous." So we viewed a house yesterday, just up the road in the development called Richwood Homes, which I don't really want to move to. Because it's a gated community, and Ellen said we'll have to go the back way because there's a back road which is a load of crap, but I didn't realise when they'd flattened this road, unbelievably they'd flattened the road at the back, and it's fine to drive on. What the fuck is that?
Cockroach.
Oh Jesus, I hate those things. I hate cockroaches. I tell you, I hate them.
Behind you.
No, it's not. I can see it just there.
Yeah, there's one behind you.
Oh, piss off. That's not even funny. Get that thing away. Can you get the broom?
No.
Ellen, get the broom.
I want you to scream.
The door's open. Why is the door open? Do you want it in the house? Yeah, you want me to scream?
It's a beetle.
Well, I don't mind beetles. It's cockroaches. I thought it was a beetle. Anyway, yeah, so the road actually at the back is really good. Because that used to be like a dirt track and it was like rocky and sandy, and I'd take it sometimes. It's where I do my walks, you know, when I do the vlogs. I either go down the back road or I go down over there. There's like a space of land. Yeah, and we went there the other day and it's perfect. It is like, I had no idea they'd flattened that as in terms of driving it. So yeah, we might stay a bit longer now. But that road is awful. It is literally so much worse than it was when I made that video. Christ knows where this sand comes from. But you literally got sand dunes. There's like a sand dune. Before it was like flat and you're filling it. Now you've got like piles of sand. Yeah, I mean, even saying, yeah, it's like, God, I don't know. And the crap, I'm going to do a new thing on the channel now. I'm going to call it either fighting back or right to reply. But I got quite a few negative comments on that video I did about the road from annoying expats. And I can't be bothered typing and answering to them. I can't do it. So I'm going to do once a week, probably on a Sunday, I'm going to pick out a few choice ones and tell them what I think about them. And there are a couple complaining about me moaning about the road, and they're going to be the ones I tackle first. Because I cannot abide people like that. Good question, Jack. Simon, maybe a VPN embedded into the route. I got no idea, mate. I got no idea, Simon. I appreciate the suggestions. I am not a technically minded guy. You know, I like to use things, and if I've got a problem with my computer and I couldn't like stream or do something like that, I would try and work it out. But if it's not, you know, other than a problem I have to fix to be able to do stuff I need to do, I don't understand enough about it to know what you're saying, you know, what the solutions are. Which is embarrassing, really, but I'm just not a VPN kind of guy. I'm a technical kind of guy. I do apologise, guys. The beer's starting to kick in now. Or is the plan to still move on? Is the plan to still move? Yeah, well, as I said to Ellen the other day, the plan is to move if we find a decent place. You know, the point is we're in no rush. Now that road's usable at the back, it won't be usable for that much longer. I mean, a couple of months that will deteriorate as well. But I've got a mate up there, you know, the garage who'll rent me like a trial bike or something if we need it. But I'm not going to move to somewhere that isn't better than here. I can put up the Cotswolds for a couple of months, you know, I made the Roosters for a couple of months. So we looked at a place the other day, and to be honest with you, on Monday, if we were still living in a hotel like Rook, when I first came to Valencia, we were living in a place called Latinos. We had a studio there. And don't get me wrong, I love Marco's, good friend, got the restaurant there, the food's amazing, but it was horrible living there. It had a tin roof and it was hot and it was too small. So as soon as we found this place, we moved in like, you know, we were shot just to get away from there. The place we looked at yesterday, I said, well, look, you know, if we were in Latinos now, still in that studio, I'd take this place like a shot, but it's nothing compared to where we are now, and it's nowhere near as nice as our place. You know, and the road I can put, you know what I mean? So yeah, we're looking, but we're going to take our time. Eventually somewhere will come better, but if we have to stay another 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, I'm okay with that. Ellen's pulling faces at me now. But no, yeah, I'm not going to rush into.
I'm looking at you.
Well, of course you're looking at me. I'm a handsome man. Exactly, but if you had the box that acts as a router, but would go through VPN, then it would be fine. Really? So where do we get this VPN box from then? Are you reading this, Ellen? Yeah, Ellen's reading this. Well, she's not had a. We'll have to look into that then, because that would be very helpful. As long as it's not a big box, because obviously it would have to be something that we take away in our suitcases when we go away. But maybe that's what it is then. I know enough about life to know that no problem is insurmountable. You know what I mean? There's always a way around something. So that's interesting. Never occurred to me that it would be. I didn't even know that she had the VPN. But of course, she must have the software, because when she told me before work had a VPN, I just assumed it was something they logged into when she logs on in the morning. Didn't occur to me that it was software that she'd loaded onto her computer. Yeah, on month by month now. We're on month by month, I think, as of this. When did we move here?
May 23rd.
You sound like you sung that. May 23rd. Yeah, we moved in May 21st. So, 23rd, well, it doesn't matter, is it 21st, 23rd? So the point is, yeah, we are now at the end of the contract, so we can move, you know, whenever we want to. We found a place in town a while back, but I think we upset them because we didn't move there. It was in that apartment. But I am going to pressure Ellen to contact them and say, give us another chance. But it's hard to get in there. They don't have many places. But I'd moved there like a shot. It was a nice little one-bedroom, and it was bang smack in the city. Because the trouble is, you've got to get the right place. Because a lot of the nice bigger places, they're either full of expats or they are difficult to get to. They're further drives out, and I want to get closer to the city. But there's lots of apartments and things like that in the city, but you're going to have loud music, you're going to have road noise, you're going to have stuff like that. The place we found is a small, like, you know, condo complex, and they had security and they had rules, no karaoke after 10 o'clock, and it was back from the road, so it was perfect. Ellen keeps showing me, like, you know, apartments in, like, you know, Filipino places banging the city centre. I'm like, nah, you're going to get the noise, because we lived in an apartment in Sibyland, and that was like in the city. And 5 o'clock in the morning, the shop downstairs, the bike shop would open, and they just bang their stereos on, and the buses going by. You know, it was awful. It's easy to forget how bad it was. That's why I pissed off the Sigil. So yeah, we're going to take our time, and something will come up, and when it does, we'll grab it. Those big ass flying ones over here, think they're more like a water bug. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't know what it is. It's a psychological thing. I'm okay with snakes. Don't have a problem with snakes. Don't have a problem with spiders. Ellen doesn't like lizards. I have no fear of any. Well, don't get me wrong. I'm scared of dying. I'm not like, you know, like saying I'm a hero or anything. But the only two things I'm scared of, like really can't stand, are cockroaches and earwigs. Don't ask me why.
What's the other one?
Earwigs.
What is that?
I've told you before, they're like an insect in the UK. They're small and they've got these little pincers on the back. I hate them. I don't kill things, you see. I don't like killing things. So it's like, you know, I've had to kill a few cockroaches over here, and I feel really guilty about it afterwards. It sounds bad. I read a book once, I can't remember what it was, and the idea was that when you die, all the things you've killed and been nasty to wait for you in this room, and they're going to, like, you know, have it out with you. I don't want to go there and meet a room full of cockroaches and earwigs. Don't think I've ever killed an earwig. But when you're like alone in a room and you've got a cockroach that size, what the hell do you do? You know, it won't leave. You try and get it out the window. You know, it's like a fight to the end, isn't it? Oh, that sounds good, buddy. Like the plan, like the idea, Jack stuff. Well, I'm glad, mate. I don't know what else you can do. I don't know what else you can do, really. You know, it's like there's a lot more options than there are in Thailand. You know what I mean? It's like you move into like a province city in Thailand, or a province town. There aren't many options. You know, it's like here. There's lots of options, but a lot of them are crap. I've not met a friend yet who lives in a place who I think I would like to live there. You know what I mean? Apart from a couple I know who've got like amazing places, but most of them live like, you know, either in gated communities, and you think, yeah, it's nice to have the swimming pool and all that, but then you see who they're living with, if you know what I mean, and they're just, you know, it's just, you know, they have barbecue, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, so it's finding the right balance. William Hickey, been an American expat for the past 30 years plus, mostly in the UAE. Great place. You are one of the first Englishmen that are honest about their experiences. I'm going to take that as a compliment. I think it is. But the way you've written that, you are one of the first Englishmen that are honest about their experiences. So are you saying other Englishmen are liars? And you're probably right. I just don't know the way you worded that, like, you know, because it could mean you're, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I've never lived in the UAE. Yeah, well, I'm glad you think I'm honest. I try to be. If you're saying other English vloggers aren't honest, I'm not saying you're wrong, but there aren't many of us, are there? The only one I know about is the grumpy old fella, wherever he is. And I say grumpy, he calls himself the grumpy old Brit or whatever. And there is a guy called Big Cinema World or something. Don't know him, but he seems like a nice chap. A couple of people have said watch his channel, it's great. I don't really watch other channels. But when I did a channel the other day, berating YouTube and the problems I was having with them, he did a really nice message saying, like, you know, I've had these problems and, you know, just stick with the content. So he's a good guy. I've got to watch more of his channel. I've watched a couple of his videos. But, yeah, thank you for that. As I say, I'm not sure. You're in Cavite. Where's that?
Northern.
Northern what?
Like in Luzon.
Northern Luzon.
I'm not sure. Just guessing.
Well, I don't feel embarrassed about knowing where that is. That's Northern Luzon, is it? I thought it was Northern Luzon, but I've asked Ellen and she thinks it is, and it's her country, so if she doesn't know, I won't feel bad about knowing. Not knowing, for sure. Yeah, don't move for moving's sake. It's got to be right and better than 100%. Yeah, mate, we're on the same thing. It's like, you know, don't move for the sake of it. It's pointless. It really is. Haven't you seen any here? Haven't seen any here for 2 months, but we get more geckos. See, I like geckos. Ellen hates geckos. Ellen likes to spray the geckos with the air spray. I won't let her do it, and she gets so annoyed. I will not do that. I think geckos. When I lived up in Pedjabam, mosquitoes. We had a problem with them. You know, you go outside at night, you always had to start a fire and get some of the old mosquito burners. So I've always taken the attitude, geckos eat the young, eat the mosquitoes. So yeah, I think geckos are fantastic. They eat the things that you don't want in the house. Ellen's like, she's scared of them. She doesn't like them. There was a lizard the other day. I come in, it was like, come out of the bedroom, it was about that big. White had come in through the window, I don't know. But any lizard, anything like that, I won't hurt it. I try and get it out. But this thing went under the fridge, and I couldn't get it. And I didn't want to scare it because they could have heart attacks and their tails and that can fall off, couldn't they? And I told her about that. She didn't believe me. And the next day she calls me. Where was it? It was here, wasn't it? It was here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I managed to get it out the window. But yeah, because you get some. And I've also heard there's a guy got a place called Kingaroos, an Aussie guy, owns our local bar, and he was saying he looks after all the local dogs. He's got like a dog charity. He's involved in like some dog charity, so he loves animals. And he was trying to get one of these big ones out a couple of years ago, and he bit his finger and bit right to the bone. He had so apparently these things can bite. They're the long ones that go yeah. Isn't that the noise I make at night?
Oh.
I know. Yeah, but it was a big one. What? I'm sorry if my lizard impressions don't live up. I said I only do an hour tonight, but I'm enjoying this. I'll keep going. Ellen will say afterwards,
Oh,
you can never
already.
finish on an hour. Well, until people get bored. I'm a people pleaser. I tell you what, I love doing this, guys. Why in God's name anyone wants to listen to me talk is beyond me, but I love that you do. Ellen gets bored after 5 minutes. That's why I like doing this channel. I just get to talk. Why anyone wants to talk to me, I do not know, but I love it. Buy a small bulldozer, LOL. What's a small bulldozer? Is that for the road? Or the someone said that the other day, like, you know, why don't you just buy a cultivator and do this, and they were talking about dragging these things. I'm thinking, because I don't live, it's not my road to fix. Why am I going to invest several £1,000s in fixing a problem that that is not mine to fix? The Bahrain guy should fix that, and someone else saying you failed to. That's what I'm going to talk about when I do the right to reply. Just buy an off-road bike. You should never have bought that bike. You're an idiot. And I'm thinking, well, I didn't buy that bike. Ellen bought it because she wanted it. I mean, the reality is we rent a property. Why would we be investing large, well, not large sums of money to Jackstar, but large sums of money to us in fixing the infrastructure and buying vehicles to combat all these environmental issues? We could just move. We don't love the place that much. But I knew what you meant. I know you weren't waving goodbye to Bulldozer, Glenn. You hire me for VPN box. €750 per day is my charge. Well, I tell you what, we've got a deal. Not.
Just joking.
Well, I know he's joking. Good Lord. I didn't come down the river in a bubble, Ellen. William Hickey, agreed, pal. Tells you, oh, talking about me. I thought we were having a chat with you. Yeah, I do. I like to think I tell it as it is. Thank you. I do like this when people say nice things about me. Ellen's laughing now, she's pulling faces. But you got to tell it how it is. I don't understand people. I don't understand why people bullshit. I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get why. Anyway, there we go. Stan joking. I can do it for free for you whenever I will be in Douma. I am visiting soon. Can call you up. Well, Stan, listen. If you're visiting Douma and you could help us with that, then give me a call. But obviously, I mean, don't. I'll buy there's a drink in it for you, and if there's any equipment to buy, we'll buy it. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that would be fantastic. If you're in Douma, mate, give us a shout, because that could open a few possibilities for us in terms of travel and things. I appreciate the offer, mate. Are you still looking for a cleaner? Because you said Ellen wasn't doing a good job. And he's trying to start trouble now. He keeps banging on about me saying you're not a good cook. And you are a good cook.
You just say it lovely.
Why did you look at that? No. See, Ellen's missing. She's not had her camera fixed for a while because she wants to get involved in this now. I might spin it around a second. No, she's, yeah, you do. She goes, I'm going to get mad. She's always mad. Yeah, I never said she wasn't a good cook. And I do stand by this, and people are going to hate me for saying this. I am probably a better cook than Ellen.
Are you serious?
Hold on a second. If I had the right equipment. We're very limited. We bought an induction cooker the other day. Ellen's in her element. And when I say I'm probably a better cook, what I mean is I have cooked different things in my time. Like, I can bake cakes and shit like that because my mother taught me, and lived in different countries, different styles of food, all that kind of stuff. So Ellen, for cooking Filipino food, is fantastic, much better than me. But the things I would cook, over here, like roasts and things like that, we don't have the oven for that. It's like, you're saying, I was, when it comes to if all I've got is a frying pan, which is what we basically have here, because the cook was packed up and we've got this induction thing. And now Ellen is a much better cook. If it came down to cooking a Sunday roast and, boiling the potatoes for 5 minutes, then freezing them in cold water, then putting goose fat on, whacking them in the oven, stirring a thing and that, or making, bread pudding or black forest gatto, then I am. But that's just because I've done it and she never has done. Well, you put in face, but have you ever cooked a Sunday roast? Well, there you go. That's what I mean. I'm sure if you tried it, after 2 or 3 attempts, you'd be better than me, love. Peace is paramount. Always like to find places on Airbnb to test out a complex for a month before I... See, you said it there. You've said it there. A complex. Is that just your... because I have tried to avoid things like that. Airbnb, I found a nice place in Sibyland. It was reasonably priced. Didn't mind it there, but... all the other stuff on Airbnb, I've not liked it. I don't want to live in a gated community. Don't want to live in a complex. We might end up doing, because that's all available. But that place we did the other day, yeah, it's a strange place, that Richmond Homes. It's massive. They got thousands of homes. That's not an exaggeration, is it? Thousands? Or hundreds, shall we say. And they're all empty. And like, you know, half of the road, all the grass is cut, and it was deserted. I knew a guy called Fred who lived there, and he was saying he'd lived there for like 3-4 months. He loved it. He said, but no one else lived there. And we went there the other day to look at the place. It's a ghost town. I don't know what's going on there, but they've got an amazing swimming pool. That's where I interviewed a guy called Tim a couple of months ago, and the swimming pool's amazing. And he's been there a few months, but I said, what are your neighbours like? He said, we haven't got any. And when we went there, it's like you just drive past all these empty buildings. And it was a townhouse. And like, now we've got a nice big open space. You know, you walked in there, just like a pokey little room. Then you went up to the next floor. You had 2 bedrooms. The next floor, it was just not for me. Another message is held for review. Tell you what I've noticed when you moved there and started your YouTube. You weren't the expat that wanted to be full on with other expats. But that's changed last, 7 months. Yeah, mate, it has 100%. I have gone through a complete sea change. I am, yeah. But I'm not sure, you know, as I've said many times on the channel, I think it was the fact that I moved to Thailand to escape that kind of crap. I got bored with dealing with people in England and just Europeans and Westerns in general. And then when I moved to Jomtien, I loved the fact everyone was happy and that, but after a while, it just did my head in being surrounded by expats. And then when I moved up the mountains and there were no expats, and I had to learn Thai and I had to like move, I thought it was just so exciting. I had the greatest 5 years of my life there. But then that started to wear thin. Because there were times you like, if you know, I had a couple of friends in the UK I speak to on Skype, and that would keep me sane. Because there were times you think you just couldn't, but I enjoyed it. But I think I enjoyed it because I was convincing myself I didn't want to live the expat life. And when I first came here, because I had a bad experience in Sibilan in terms of certain parts of Dimageti aren't very friendly. Other parts are. So the first couple of months I was in Dimageti, I tried going down the boulevard and a few of the bars and that down there, and I'm a bunch of arseholes, to be honest with you, mate. So when I went to Sikil, I found a load of Filipino friends, and I was just transferring the idea of living in Thailand with Thais and living with Filipinos over there. But when I found out the whole thing was a facade, when I had that trouble with that lunatic over there, I thought Filipinos ain't the same as Thais. They're not real friends. And I came back here, and then when I moved to this side of Dumaguete or Pakonga, people are great here. So yeah, I've gone full circle. But as I've said recently, some of the stuff that's going on with the political stuff and the arguments now, I'm starting to think maybe I've had my 2 years of expat life. Maybe it's time to get away from it again. I don't know. But on the whole, 90% of the time I'm enjoying it. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice. I met a guy about 2 weeks ago, Jimmy, when we went out, we did a video, and he's been living in Thailand in Philippines a couple of years now, and he's in a similar situation to I was, in the sense that he lives up towards Bacolod, and he's got a lovely wife, Jessie, and they built a house there, and he spends it, but there aren't any expats there, and he was like, you know, he just does his Filipino things. He's from York, well, he's from Grimsby. No, he's from Cleethorpes, just outside Grimsby, and we met him, we had a chat, and he was saying how much he missed having a conversation with someone from England. Like, you know, he's like, that's why they come to Dumaguete every couple of months, because he can talk to English people. And I say, I know exactly what you mean, mate. I felt the same way when I lived up in the mountains. It's, yeah, maybe it'll wear thin, who knows, but yeah. But I have changed, mate. I have gone through a huge sea change. I tell you what, I should read faster, because I give you that explanation. Now read the next question. You're right. I think it's because you was in Thailand, not in the expat areas. Yeah, you're 100% mate, right, 100% right. You've already answered what I just said, but yeah, no, that's what it was. It's new to me. It was a new experience living in the provinces in Thailand. It's a new experience living in Dumaguete with lots of expats. Yeah, the small ones make a little squeaky noise. Reference bulldozer, I was joking. I know you were, Glenn. I know you were, mate. I know you were. Don't worry, brother. I know you were joking. William Hickey. When I lived, I'm going down too far here. I am in Cavite. It is 1:15 hours south of Manila. I was not taking shots at the Brits. I have several Brit friends. You need to have a visit just 40 minutes from Tagatai. No, mate, I didn't, honestly didn't think you were. And if you did, wouldn't offend me, mate. There's a lot of arseholes in Britain, a lot of arseholes in any country. It was just it's the way you worded it, or the way I read it. So I was just clarifying. Either way would have been fine with me. You know, the point is, you were saying nice things about me, so it didn't matter what you were saying about anyone else. But no, I get you. But no, yeah. No, it's just the wording, because it could have been meant both ways. But yeah. No, it sounds nice, mate. It sounds nice. We will have to try Cavite. How do you say it, Ellen? Cavite? Or Cavite? Cavite?
Yeah.
Cavite. Very Spanish over, isn't it? Cavite. I just said Cavite, but because I've been here, I know it's Cavite. A decent English breakfast in Duma. Well, no. I mean, I say no. I did a review of the 5 best restaurants in Dumaguete the other day, and I made a mistake of posting it on a forum. Well, not the mistake. I'm going to keep doing it. It's a resto bar, expat forum there, and I got a lot of digs off a lot of people on that, and it pissed me off. But now I'm just going to upload it every month, every time, just to put one there, because they were like, that restaurant's no good, this restaurant's no good, try this one, try that one. I don't give a shit what they say. But it did make me realise there are a hell of a lot of restaurants in Dumaguete that I've not been to yet. So when I say you can't get a decent English breakfast, I'm only basing on the places I've been to, and I've probably only been to, I don't know, 10, 20% of the restaurants here, because there's a lot of restaurants in Dumaguete, but none of them doing English sausage, and the bacon's a bit ropey, and I'm a sausage man. You know, I like bacon, but I'd much rather have 3 sausages and no bacon than, you know, 1 sausage and 2 bits of bacon. But there are put this way, there are better places than others. So I like the Sideways. I mean, I have a lot of breakfast, and I eat in Sideways a lot because I do the quizzes there. So I don't have to spend money there. So I go there and I have the breakfast and a few drinks there. And it's a great place. I'd go anyway. So I mean, but that's why I eat breakfast there a lot. And the breakfast at the Kingswick's good. They're all good for the Philippines. There is nowhere I've been to in the Philippines that will hold a candle to a good English breakfast in the UK. But it's probably the same for Americans. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, they are trying to copy something. I mean, it's like, I love black pudding. I love white pudding. White pudding's my favourite. Jack Star, Glenn, and if you're still here, Jim, what do you think of white pudding? I love hog's pudding. I like black pudding, but hog's pudding's better. But you're never going to get black pudding over here. You're never going to get white pudding over here. You know, you're never going to get bubble and squeak over here. So it's, you know, there are some okay English breakfasts here compared to England. Yeah, Mucker, I get it for sure. Glad you do, Jack Star. I was about to say, you're a brother from another mother. Oh, that is the right one, isn't it? I was about to say your mother from another brother. Brother from another mother, mate. We seem to be on the same wavelength, mate. What are your thoughts? I know I just asked you, but what are your thoughts on white pudding? In fact, what are your thoughts, Jack Star? Because I'm guessing you and Glenn have been to more countries than I have. What's the best food in the world? I'd say it's Thai food myself, but, you know, never really spent much time I've been to Malaysia, I've never been to Indonesia. So, I mean, I'm sure you guys have. All Gold will track this message. You tease, All Gold, you're a tease. What did you say? That's going to be bugging me. How much was the cleaner with the French maid outfit asking? She was hot, Simon. Well, I don't know. We never discussed prices. She said she did French. But that was, I'm not going to go down this route. Funny. When I lived in Dubai, the expat community was awesome. I had 2 boys at the time. We had great little league, and boy, I've jumped down in now. And Boy Scouts. The Philippine expat community is totally different. Well, again, the way you've worded that, my friend, I'm guessing, I'm not picking it, it's the way I'm reading it, not the thing in that, because when you say we had a great little league, the Philippines expat community is totally different, I would read that as it's not as good, but maybe I've read that wrong again. I've never been to Dubai. Well, I've been to Dubai lots of times, but I never left the airport. That doesn't really count, does it? I was a Vegas man, could never understand Because Dubai, I mean, I lived in Vegas for a while, and I used to go to Vegas many times a year. Dubai never appealed in those days because what can you do in Dubai that you can't do in Vegas? But I know a lot of people that go on holiday think it's brilliant. We'll have to try it one time, Adam. Once we got your visa for Thailand, we'll have to try Dubai. But no idea what the expats like over there, mate. I thought the expats in Saudi, spent a lot of time in Saudi. I like the expats in Saudi. So great nights on the old aerospace compounds and that down there. Yeah, I feel like that in Germany. Love going native, but was nice to get back to have the banter with the English guys. Oh, is that when you were based in Germany? What, back in your army days, or are we talking about something else? Yeah, it's my favourite people over here are the Aussies. I like the Australians. Australians and the British. And don't get me wrong, I've got some good American friends. I've got some good I've got a couple of good. I know, you know, there's no, you know, I get on with most people. Try to, but I find Australia Britain and Australia is, and I like Irish as well. We have the same sense of humour. You know, it's like, you know, yeah, you can, you know, when I find when I'm dealing with other nationalities, or when I'm dealing, it makes it sound like work. When you're having fun, like, you know, sometimes you've got to watch, because if you say something, you make a joke. It's lost in translation, even though you're talking English. You know what I mean? But yeah, when you're talking to someone, it would be the same when Americans are talking to other Americans. You know, it's like, you know, you know what's acceptable to say and what's not. You know, often I'll make comments here and I'll suddenly think, oh God, is this guy going to take it the wrong way or the right way? You don't have to worry about that with Aussies. You don't have to worry about that with, you know, English people. And I met a guy from Denmark. I've got a couple of good Danish friends over here, but I met a guy up last week who I'd never met before. And he was Danish, and he was saying, he says, oh, I like English because we've got the same sense of humour. We've got a dark sense of humour. And I don't know if that's true or not, but you know what I mean? We have a different sense of humour to other countries, some other countries. Paul, crap is why I avoid most expats, as I tend to hang out with, we lost it there. I tend to hang out with guys who have been here for years, who have a good attitude and don't look down on others. And there's always someone richer, smarter, taller. Oh, mate, I don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. Excuse my French. I've had a few beers now. You know, that kind of all this show business. You know, I mean, I'm not. You know, I don't. That kind of crap don't bother me. Who's got more money? Who's got this? Who's got that? Or whatever. You know, it's anyone who's like that. I'm not bothered with. The ones I can't stand are the know-it-alls. It's like you get someone on the channel, a few of them, it's very few, only about 1% of the comments. But the guys who've been here 30 years or 20 years or whatever and think they know it all. You know, like there's some authority, and anyone who's been here less than 10 or 20 years doesn't know shit. And you just listen to them and you think, what are you talking about? There's not much to know here. You know, you learn it in the first couple of months. You know, the utilities are crap. You know, you're going to get brownouts, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. Don't buy land, don't get married too quickly, don't put in your girlfriend's name. You know, there's not that much to learn, but they like to think it's some kind of magic. You know, like you know, it's the same as any Asian country. You know, anyone with a brain cell, they only have to be away a year living in Asia to pick it all up. I'm not giving myself like to be a genius, but in 6 months of being here, I believe I'd worked out all you need to know. But you get some of these people, they're the ones that really wind me up. Say, well, you're a newbie, you don't know yet. You think, well, know what? And this is a guy who invariably has been married twice over here, and he's lost land and he's lost a house. And they're an expert because it's happened to them. And you think, well, it hasn't happened to me in the first place. Because I wouldn't make the same mistakes you made, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm not going to give it like I'm like some kind of genius, but you know what I'm saying? But they're the ones that bother me. Yeah, I've been making my own sausage. Ooh, missus. That sounds a bit rude. American sausage. Jack Star, white. Because your American sausage are very different to ours. Jack Star, white pudding, Northern Ireland, best I've had. Yeah, white pudding, mate. White pudding. I've never had it in Northern Ireland. Been to Ireland, like my parents are Irish, but we come down from Westport in the south. Been to Northern Ireland when I was in the Air Force, but Aldergrove. But never had the white sausage over there. But before my parents moved to Wales, they lived down in Cornwall for about 10 years, and they're big on the white sausage down there. All the local cafes do it. I love it. Well, they call it hog's pudding down there, but God, it's gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, I'd kill for some white pudding. Been about white pudding, great. Only had it in Ireland. Well, there you go, mate. They have it down in the southwestern England. They do, but yeah, it's yeah, white pudding's lovely. Black pudding's good. See, it's going to make me sound cheap and nasty now, but when I go back to the UK or when I fly out, I always have a Witherspoons cooked breakfast. I know it's not high class or whatever, but there always seems to be a Witherspoons. You know, before you get on the tube to go to the or you get, I mean, you get the airport, you're saying different, but like, I quite like the old Witherspoons greedy breakfast or big breakfast, whatever it's called. As soon as I get back to the UK, that's what I'm having. I mean, don't get me wrong, when I get to Wales, the local town where they live, Llandilo, that's got a few nice cafes in it. They do a good breakfast, but first thing I do when I get back is I will go to Costa Coffee and I will have a massive, you know, the big latte, and then I will go straight, find a Witherspoons and have a cooked breakfast. Same as if I go back to East London, I'll be straight for some pie and mash. You know, it's you can't beat it. Thai food in Singapore was some of the best food I've ever had. Yeah, I've never been to Singapore. Singapore, but it's expensive over there, isn't it? And why I say that, you expect the food to be better, don't you? I mean, that's the thing. So I know Singapore's a wealthy, but I know it's an expensive place. So I'm not surprised the food is good. You know, it's like we went to, we go to the North Point, and the food's okay there. You know, the sushi's good. But when we went to Mobile, they had a place there which was similar to North Point. Well, you know, guys, you've seen the video. But the food there was about, I don't know, twice the price. So it looked better. Well, of course it's going to be better because it's twice the price. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, so you expect that. So I'm not at all surprised that the Thai food is good in Singapore. But I've never been able to get my head around the fact that, you know, yourself, if you go, like, you know, some of the street food, you go down and get a pad Thai or a pad kapau mu or pad kapau gai from a street place in Thailand. When I was living there, it was like 40 baht. And it was incredibly good, always. You know, you go to the restaurants here, you'll pay 5 times that, which is understandable. They don't have holy basil and that there, but you're basically sitting in a restaurant paying 5 times as much for the restaurant experience. And it's not as good as the street food, but that's what I found in Thailand. You know, I used to like the barbecues, you know, when you go and you get the bowl of water and put the stuff on there, because I could never see the point of going to good restaurants over there unless you're going to have good seafood, good prawns and stuff like that, because the street food was so good. And don't get me wrong, we used to go to them, then go to the restaurants, but you'd always sit there and think, this is no better than the street food. But if the ingredients is all fresh and the ingredients is all, how can it be better? You know, it's just the way it is. Best food in my opinion is Indonesian and Greek. Yeah, Greek food's great. Indonesian, not had a lot. Indonesian food I've had is in when I lived in Holland. They because they've got close links with Indonesia. I used to like the Rastaffels. You know, all the peanut satay and all that, because there's lots of Indonesian restaurants in Holland. Great food, but I've never actually had it in Indonesia. I don't think I've been to Indonesia. No, I haven't. I've been to Malaysia. I've never been to Indonesia. But Greek food, yeah, Greek food. Love Greek food. I love Greek. I love Turkish. Love a halab kebab. I like any kebab. It's one of the things I've missed here. Can't get it here at all. You can get the shawarmas, but they're not really shawarmas. And then a couple of places say they sell gyros, but I've never been gyros. To me, I like when I lived in Leicester, I used to go to kebab shops there. They'd do the kebabs, but they do them in naan bread instead of the pita bread, and you get like a mixed kebab. It was gorgeous. Oh mate, listen, Jackstar, don't. I was about to say, shall I stop now because I'm boring people, and you've just sent money, or have you, or has that just jumped up? If you have, you really didn't need to, mate. You really didn't need to. Now you made me think I should go now, so you don't see more. Have you just sent money? Anyway, maybe I've got that wrong, but it just flashed up 19 from Jackstar, so I don't know if, I don't understand how this works. William Hickey, I appreciate your answer of Dubai. Since you haven't spent time there, Dubai was a very family-oriented expat community. I feel in the Philippines, it's just older expat guys living out time. Well, I haven't had that experience here in Dumaguete. There's lots of younger the circles I know exactly where you're coming from, but I've not been to Dubai, so I don't know. You got to understand, I was living in Thailand, and when I was living in Thailand, I was living in, you know, before I moved up to the mountains, I was in Jomtien, and the expats there were not family orientated. You know, they were quite the opposite. And I'm not making any aspersions on sex tours and all that. So I don't judge anyone. Believe me, I don't judge anyone. So it was refreshing when I came here how many people weren't like that. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're family orientated. But most of the guys I know here, well, not all of them, but a lot of them are in relationships with women. A good 60-70% of them are with Filipino women who they're the same age. You know, they met working for airlines, or they met in other countries and that, you know what I mean? All this, like, age gap relationship. I don't know so many. I only know a couple, and they've got great relationships. You know, they're like, you know, because the guys, even though they're, like, in their 70s, they're active. They go out, they do more than I do. They like to drink and party, and they go on holiday all the time and that, and taking their girlfriends with them. But I hear you. Mate, what year was you in Aldergrove? I was there 95, 96. Oh, mate, you've got me now. I was never posted there. I went there on support squadron. Oh, I don't know. I'd have to work that out. But I was never there more than like 3 or 4 days. I don't know. I was never. It was never a posting for me. But it's some good times there. You know, out with the lads and out on the beer. But oh God, when would I have gone there? I went to Stanmore Park in 97. Was it 97? I left in 99. It would have been between 97 and 99. But as I say, I think I went 3 times, but it was never more than a few days. You know, the kite was just, you know, getting sorted out, and then we were on a stopover kind of thing. Adam Fun, I haven't travelled to too many countries. As far as foreigners go, the Philippines seems to attract some big egos and oddballs. I want nothing to do with them. But it might do. It might do. I don't know, because I say that the circles I move in. When I first came over here, I did a couple of interviews with Mark Thornton. I think he interviewed me 3 times. I interviewed him twice, and I was trying to expand the channel, so I did a few things, and I did a few interviews with Peter, Thai Irish Times, and I got a lot of negative feedback. A lot of people did not like me at all, and see me. I mean, they said I was an alcoholic and a drunk and an idiot, and I had no education, and I couldn't speak English and all this kind of shit. And a lot of them, I think, were living in the Philippines. So I know there are a lot of arseholes over there, but they don't move in the circles I move in. I mean, I go to... Where do I really go? I mean, me and they'll go out, we'll try different restaurants. But I will invariably, if I'm going to go out like for a drink and that, meet people, I'll go to Sideways, I'll go down to the Octagon, I'll go to maybe the Native Bar, I might go to the Pugo. The place I go to a place I know. You know, I know people. You know what I mean? I move in a certain circle. I'm sure there are a lot of arseholes here. I know there are, but they tend to go to, like, you know, Ground Zero coffee shop and, you know, all these other places. So they're here. I know they exist from the comments I made when I, you know, did interviews for other channels, but I don't see them. I mean, the guy who owns Sideways, Ewan's a good friend of mine, he was saying one day, because a lot of the bars are struggling here, like, you know, he'd get up in the morning and he'll go, when he's driving into work, he'll see like all these people, expats, like, you know, dropping off their kids at school and all the rest of it, and he doesn't know any of them because they never go to the bar, you know, to his bar or whatever, you know. So there's like sub communities here, sub people that, you know, that exist, and you might meet them. That's why I'm not too keen to live in one of these gated communities and that, because I know I'll end up meeting with people, you know, that I probably don't want to meet with. It's like, nah, you know, the neighbours here, they're all Filipinos. You know, if there's a problem and they're upset about something that we've done, it's never happened. But I will, you know, I'd apologise. I'd say I'm sorry, because the way I look at it, I'm a guest here. You know, if they do something that annoys me, like with a karaoke or whatever, I just ignore it, because It's their place. You know, we've moved in here. I'm not in a position to tell people what to do. But if I was living in an expat community and I had, like, you know, Westerners telling me I shouldn't do this or do that, or they were doing things to annoy me, that annoyed me, I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I'd be like, you know better, don't you? You know what I mean? So I try to avoid that, if that makes sense. Jerry Stanley, I like spicy, but yeah, American, but I love good Polish sausage. Cabanos. But all I can find is the Hungarian. I like the Hungarian sausage. All the English breakfasts I would recommend over here, they're all Hungarian sausage. I love it, but it's not the same as a Cumberland sausage or a Lincolnshire sausage. They're my favourites. But was in the RF police bar? Yeah, the good RF police bar over there, mate. I tell you that. Yeah. That's what I remember over there. I think that, and there's a place called St Athens in Wales. I think they got the two best RF police bars. No, funny you say that. Seafood in Koh Chang, amazing. Right, now I've seen you have sent me that £19. Mate, thank you. Don't do it again. I wasn't sure because you get a little flash on the bottom. I can't read this, and so it's only when I've scrolled down I've seen you did. Listen, mate. I honestly, look, I am incredibly grateful. But I don't know, it makes me feel like, I'm hanging out for money. I'm chatting to you because I like, I'm enjoying the conversation, you know what I mean? You don't need to pay me for this. I like saying to Ellen earlier on, I wasn't joking. I like talking. If we're at 2 hours now, I could talk for another 4. But you know what I mean? But I don't want it because I don't want to bore people. I've got no idea how many are online. I've lost my thingy. But no, I just love chewing the fat, you know what I mean? But thank you, mate. I really do appreciate that. That 100% is going in the Jack Star pot. If you don't come over, I'm gonna be heartbroken, mate. Because we're gonna have a damn good. But thank you, mate. I really appreciate that. As I say, I would have thanked you before, but I didn't know if it actually come. I just saw this little thing down there. I didn't want to say, oh, thanks for that, in case you hadn't sent it, because then it put pressure on you to see. You know what I mean? But thanks, mate. I really do appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. Javapi in Bosnia, best in the world. What, best police bar or best food? I've not been to Bosnia. I've what have I? I'm trying to think now. Where did we go? Was that Split? Is Split in Bosnia? I think we went to Split once. That in Bosnia? Yeah, I think maybe it's Split in Bosnia. We never went to the police club there though. Never went to the police club there, definitely not. Javapi in Bosnia, best in the world. Simon Kendall, even though I hate the place, New Zealand has great food, but I have to say the best McDonald's is in Japan. The best McDonald's. The best McDonald's. Simon, I love you, mate. You have, and don't take this the wrong way, mate, because you're a great bloke. I enjoyed that night we went out, but you've got cheap taste, my friend. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. I've got cheap taste. I don't like poncy restaurants like that kind. I like good food, but I know some of the places I can't stand Angel's Burgers and that. I know you love them, brother. But yeah, the best McDonald's. I'm sure it is. I'm not really a McDonald's fan. We went there. We had a brown out the other week. I've enjoyed going there in the last couple of months, just to try stuff that you can't get in the UK. It's like they've got that chicken a la king, and they've got a few other things, but not McDonald's, man. Much rather have a Whopper. Yeah, well, I just said yes, I did. Well, thank you, Jack Star. I've got again, mate. I've already thanked, but I'm very grateful, my friend. I think I'm well behind on these chats. So I have to keep moving up. Yeah, I really am grateful, mate. As I say, I don't know what to say. You've blown my mind. It's like, I thought you were in America tonight. I didn't think you were even going to be here. But thank you very much, brother. What have you got planned when you go over there? What would a man with your means and your generosity, what are you going to do with your daughters? Are you going to take you've probably got helicopter flights planned all around the can't think what it's called now, Empire State Building and all the rest of it, paragliding into the... can't even think what the bloody river's called now. It's not that hard. I'm going to make a fool of myself now. The beer's going to my head. Ellen, sweetie, I've had too much to drink. I'm going to finish soon. But could you open me another beer, please?
No.
No? I thought we had a traditional relationship.
I mean, we've been talking for 2 hours more.
Yes, but I'm enjoying it.
I haven't taken my shower. Can I take a shower now?
Of course you can.
And then you're gonna get mad if the water pump is...
No, don't worry about the water pump. But can you get the beer, please? My love, am I going to get mad?
Now.
You can do whatever you want. When have you ever asked me for permission for anything in your life? Jerry Stanley, many authentic restaurants in the US. I'm not well travelled, but the owners many times from that country. Wait a minute, I've got to read this again. Many authentic restaurants in the US. I'm not well travelled, but the owners many times from that country. Okay.
Can you open this?
I can open this. See, Ellen just wants me to do my party trick. She's got a tin opener, but she hates me. Just wants me to open it like that.
Yeah. Sexy when you open it.
Am I sexy when I open that?
Yeah.
I think I'm just sexy full stop, aren't I? Just take out half my tooth. I make my way to Dumaguete. I will make my way to Dumaguete. My partner of 9 years. We met in Abu Dhabi. She is 55 and I am 62. The way to go for a foreigner. Wonderful person and beautiful family. Kids are professionals, etc. Very happy for you, mate. Very happy for you. It's fantastic that you have found the love of your life. You know, don't know what to say, mate. It's it always warms my heart when I hear stories like that. It's one of the things I dislike about YouTube the most. I mean, I like to be honest, don't like to be negative, but always that pisses me off that the people who talk shit, they've had this divorce or the wedding's gone down, or they've lost this or they've lost that and that. And I'm not knocking anyone. Some of you guys, listen, don't take this the wrong way, I've had a drink. Some of you guys, that may have happened to you. I'm not, and if it has, I'm terribly sorry that happened to you. I don't want to upset anyone in the stream. I'm just saying, you know, it's like, there are a lot of happy stories, a lot of happy expats. A lot of things that have gone fantastic. A lot of people, the expat life is the best thing they've ever done. But you don't hear those stories. You just hear the negatives. And it's, you know, drives me nuts. Sausage always depends on who makes it. I like a good longanisa and chorizo if they are made right. Yeah, I love a chorizo sausage, mate, but I've never had a good one in the Philippines. They're awful. And I love chorizo. One of my favourite dishes. If Ant's still there, my cooking dish, I love getting good chorizo, slice it with some shallots, some garlic, nice red wine, Bordeaux, just fry it up, fry the garlic, put the sausage in, pour the wine in. Oh, it's gorgeous. Get a nice French stick, dip it in that, lovely. But all the chorizo I had here, it's like this. It's okay. I mean, I've got cheap taste, but it's not chorizo. There you go. Well, you are supporting the channel, mate. I tell you, listen. As I said it last week, I wasn't joking, Jackstar. I know. Well, listen. I can't advertise assassinations and things like that unless we go on a dark web. I'll download Tor or whatever it's called. But listen, I feel obliged to do something for you now, brother. So if it is some business or something you got, as far as I'm concerned, you sponsor the channel. I will truthfully big it up and say I know the CEO. He is a fantastic guy. You say, you know what I mean? But I feel I should do something to pay you back. Start a channel, then I can start sending you cash. I won't be quite as generous as you, but I will certainly return some of the favours. Mate, it's like a gyros, the Javapi. Oh, right, there you go. You're a travelled man. I didn't know what you meant when you said Javapi. So what's that then? That's not Greek, that's not Turkish, that's not... Yeah, I have to try one of those. I mean, see, the food over here, it's like some of the dishes are good. You know, it's like Ellen, because we buy good meat, you know, from the soup. Well, good meat, I mean, better than you get from the average street food. But that's the trouble with the Philippines. The food is, street food is so cheap, it can't possibly be good meat. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's so, you don't expect it to be good. But a lot of the dishes, like, you know, well, we eat pad kapow here. I don't know it's Thai dish, but we get the basil and that from town, and we get the mint Ellen cooks. You know, we have some good meals over here. I've completely lost my train of thought now. What was I saying? But I've lost my train of thought. But yeah, what I was saying was there are a million places over here you can get shawarmas. But compared to a real shawarma, I mean, shawarma's never been my favourite. I prefer doner kebab, mixed kebab, shish kofta, sheftali, something like that. But they're lousy over here. They're lousy. You know, they're better than some of the things for a change. But it's like down the road the other day, we had 2 shawarmas and rice. It came to 100 pesos. So that's like £1.30 for 2 meals. But it's not going to be great, is it? You know, but that, you know, it's not like we're being cheap. That's the only shawarma place we got. So when you go into a place and like the main meal is 150 pesos, like, and kebabs and that at 50 pesos, it's not going to be good, is it? So you know that. It's like, you know, it's so you've got no choice. That's the only place you can get shawarma. Heard a gecko in the background. Oh, mate, we got loads of geckos. Loads of geckos. Jerry, they're all over the place, mate. Don't mind geckos. Oh, Lieutenant F Cafe's made an appearance. British food is not really appetising on the world either, mate. We still eat in like this World War II. I don't think that's true, my friend. I don't think that's true. I think English food. He's saying Ellen. Is he calling you? Is a lot better than people think it is. Yeah, we do eat crap a lot of the time. It's like my wife, ex-wife. If I call my wife, Ellen's like, "Are you sure you're divorced? Are you sure you're divorced?" Anyway, my ex-wife, Hannah, she was Swedish, and when she came to the UK, she got a job with Next as a buyer, and she couldn't believe it that people had sandwiches in their lunch hours and stayed in the office. Because in Sweden, you go out for dinner, you go out for lunch, you have, you know, food's a big thing. It's all good quality food there. So she thought English food was crap. But no, you go to a good pub, you know, get some good venison, a good roast. And I'm talking like, you know, 30, 40 quid a main kind of stuff. You know, and English food is good if you go to a good restaurant. You know, there was a time, I think, London had more Michelin stars restaurants than any city in the world. I don't know if that's still true now, but 5 or 6 years ago, there was a time that was the case. It's I'm not picking up England. I'm not some like nationalistic person. Just saying, it's a bit like America. You know, it was very like America. We just, over time, the food became processed, eating became less of a thing. So in Thailand, when I lived up in the villages, they'd start cooking 8 o'clock in the morning. They would spend the whole day cooking. You go to France, food is such a huge thing there, the culture. They'll cook for hours, you know, the whole family will be there, they'll have wine, you know. They just have we have a different relationship with alcohol in the UK and other countries. We have a different relationship with food. But that doesn't mean the food's crap. You know, I'm going to say something now, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, I'm just being honest. I am honest on the channel. I spent a lot of time in America, and Americans will always say, "Oh, the food's crap in England." I didn't find it. The 2 best meals I had, my 3 favourite restaurants when I was living in America and when I was travelling in America, I liked the Olive Garden. I thought it was great. I liked the Longhorn Steakhouse, and I liked the Outback. What's it called? That's an Australian chain, you know. But I like their porterhouse steak. But apart from that, the burgers and that were okay. But the other food, you know, I had a guy the other day on the channel saying how Americans may not have invented pizza, but they made the pizza. To me, the best pizza I've ever had are in France and Italy. But I say that, I'm just being honest, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, British food ain't fantastic. It's not as good as French. It's not as good as Italian. It's not as good as, certainly not as good as Thai or Indian. I'm just saying, it's not as bad as people make it out to be. Good one, mate. Go for your refill. Have a good one. Well, I didn't want to let people. I didn't want to leave when it's rude to leave when people are still talking. Jackson, I'm not sure I'll be on next week, buddy. Well, an helicopter crash was in the Hudson this week, so it's been cancelled. 2 daughters, mate. So I think priority is shopping, Broadway show, etc. When you said the Hudson, that's what I was trying to say. I didn't want to get the river wrong because I was thinking of the old film with Tom Hanks when he crashed in the Hudson. But yeah, mate, there you go. Trying to think where you'd be staying. Are you staying in the Waldorf Astoria? Oh, Waldorf Astoria. I tell you, the street's going to my head. Well, have a great time, mate. Have a great time. You deserve it. How long is it since you've seen them? We'll miss you on the live stream next week, but we will be thinking about you. And have a good one. But don't go yet. I've just started another beer. I hope everyone else. What do you mean seriously? You know what? I just should be.
2 hours and almost 30 minutes now.
Okay, well I was. Ellen, why are you worried about how long I stay online?
I think the dogs want you to stop.
Well, I don't care what the dogs want. If you want me to stop, my love, I will stop. But then I'll sulk afterwards. Now I'll stop soon. I don't think I have to put a time limit on this. Hudson, Harlem, or East Rivers. See, the thing is, Jack Star, if you were going to Vegas, and you hadn't booked, I could recommend you a million places. I know some people, I could probably get you a couple of good deals in some very nice hotels. But I don't know New York. I don't know New York. I don't know New York. I know Soho is supposed to be a nice place to stay over there. Is it the Waldorf Astoria? Is that the good one? I mean, they've probably got a Mandarin Oriental on that now. I don't know what they've got over there. But have a good time, brother. Hudson, Harlem, or East Rivers. Glenn, you're a well-travelled man. Hudson was the one I was looking for. Because I was thinking the old plane that landed on it, but then for some reason I started thinking, was that in New York? Was that Chicago? But it was New York, wasn't it? I didn't want to make a fool of myself. Adam Fonte, KFC, Burger King, and McDonald's are much better in Thailand than in the PH for sure. You may well be right. That's what I find strange about these chains, because I thought the whole point of a chain was it was always the same quality of food as you get anywhere else in the world. But a lot of people have made comments like that. Well, if the food's not the same quality and you're not buying it from the supplier, what is the point of having a chain? But I've only eaten in KFC once here. Wasn't that impressed, but I don't like KFC in the UK. Over here, I like Krispy Kreme. I think it's a lot better than KFC here, but I don't know. Eaten at McDonald's a few times, and it's been okay, but I never ate in McDonald's in the UK. I'm a Burger King man. And when I go to America, I love Carl Jr.'s. I think that's the best. I've tried In-N-Out burgers. I've tried Wendy's. I've tried. I'm not going to go. I can't remember the name, but I tried. But the one at Carl Jr. I know Fuddruckers. Fuddruckers is the best. Fuddruckers. I got introduced to them when there was one in Riyadh in Saudi Arabia. And when I met, there's one in Miami, there's one in Las Vegas. The one in Las Vegas is it the Rio? It's where Penn and Teller play. We used to do there. Anyway, but I love Fuddruckers. And after that is Carl's Jr. But I know a lot of American guys over here and they've never heard of Carl's Jr. So I think a lot of the good burger chains you've got over there aren't in every state. But well, if you're here to the last man standing, mate, pour yourself a drink. Get. I don't know. I'd like to think of you with a big cigar in your hand and a nice glass of single malt, a smoky one, in a smoking jacket, a nice velvet smoking jacket. Been to bar. I agree, Simon, on UK food. Yeah, UK food. You know what I mean? It's like, I used to be in the old Master Chef. I used to watch it with my ex. And, we are supposedly, because each area of expertise, I'm not really a sweet tooth, but apparently in the world of chefs, Britain are the greatest pudding makers in the world. Puddings are our thing. Patisseries, pastries are the French thing. There's an argument over who does the best roast and all that kind of thing. And obviously, pizza, but puddings are supposed to be our thing. And I like a good English pudding, a spotted dick. I just say that to be silly, but no, I like apple crumble and custard. I don't think you can beat that. I've not had that in years. Ellen, we need to get that oven sorted. Let's get some more gas. I'm going to make you an apple crumble. I keep threatening to make her a bread pudding because I make a mean bread pudding. But have you ever had an apple crumble?
No.
Well, see. She's been moaning at me for the last half an hour. For the last 2 hours, she wants a shower. About 2 hours ago, I said, go and have a shower then, because I wanted her with me, just in case I had any technical difficulties. If we got cut off now, it wouldn't be the end of the world because I know. So I keep saying, go and have a shower, go and have a shower, and she sits there with a towel around her. What she really wants is me to turn the camera around so she's there with her towel. She go, oh.
You still have lives.
Yeah, I know your game. Pro code. Good man, Jack Start. Simon Kendall. Zambana is my rum tonight. It's so tasty. Zambana, never had it. I'll tell you what I might be on for the next few. Ellen, we went to when we went to Mobile. She had a milkshake in a place called Greedy Monkeys. Was it called Greedy Monkeys? Hungry Monkeys. And she couldn't work out why it was so good. And I said, it's got milk in it. And it's like got full fat milk. And she didn't know that. So we got some full fat milk when we went shopping. And she said, I like this. Let's get more when we go shopping next week. Let's get like a couple of the big cartons. And I warned her then. I said, if you get that, I will be getting a bottle of vodka and a bottle of Kahlua. And I will be going off the Red Horse and I will be on the White Russians. Because I love a White Russian. So there you go. Going forward in the live streams next week, I'll be on the White Russians. William Hickey, you are a straight talker, great stuff. By the way, British food other than breakfast cannot connect with anything. It is on a par of American food. Thai is the best. Yeah, well, see, this is the thing. This is the thing about food. I tell you now. I appreciate the compliment there about being a straight shooter, William Hickey. The thing is, what you eat in your formative years is what you grow up with. It's like where I come from in London, people eat jelly deals and pie and mash. And jelly deals is god awful. One day I'll say on the channel my jelly deal story. Oh God. I might even tell it tonight if people stay on and we keep drinking. But the point is, because you grow up on that, it's what you like. It's like Ellen. Any Filipino or Thai when you meet, they love rice. And rice is life. But it's only because that's what they grew up on. You know, whatever you're fed in your first 5-6 years of life, it's comfort food. You will grow addicted to it. And I didn't even make the mistake when I did that video, when I asked guys what they liked, you know, like what was the best thing about the Philippines, what was the worst thing about the Philippines, etc. A lot of them said food. And a couple of American guys said, I can't understand why they said food. Food is great. And I was like, well, it's not. It's like it's okay. Some dishes are better than others, but when a lot of these guys have travelled, they've lived in other countries, and you know all the rest of it. So you know compared to that, it's not. And some Filipino guy got really upset. He said, I don't care. I've travelled all around the world, and you know I've done this and that. But when I come back and go back to the Philippines, I just want some adobe and blah blah blah, and it beats everything. And you think, well, I don't want to fall out with you, mate. I don't want to argue. I wasn't trying to start an argument, but of course you do. Same as I go back to England, I want some pie and mash. I want, you know, to have a doner kebab or whatever. You know, it doesn't mean it's the best food in the world. It just means that's what I ate when I was a kid, and that's what I want. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, it's not. No one's better. You know, it's just the way it is. If you had hot dogs and pizza slices, you come from New York, they will be the best food in the world. You know, when you go back there after a while, you know, it's like, you know, it's just the way it is. But some foods, Thai, Indian, Italian, French, whatever, they are, if you're being objective, above the rest, in my humble opinion. I don't like KFC in the US either, but KFC in Thailand is top tier. My Thai friends that have travelled abroad also agree. Well, I'm more a burger man. And when I lived in Leicester, and when I lived in East London, there were a few rival chains to KFC. There was one called the Chicken Cottage, and I can't remember what the other one was called. But I thought they were better. But chicken's not really my thing until I moved here. You know, in Thailand, I used to love the chicken soups, chicken noodle soups and things. So why would I go to KFC when I could have? I used to love it. I love chicken. There's a few noodle places in our village, you know, like little sari places. And they put like, I love a boiled egg and a chicken thing. So I wasn't really eating that kind of stuff. Never really been a chicken fan over a burger. But since I come here, when I lived in Sibulan, where my apartment was, there was literally a Krispy Kreme just downstairs. And I've got addicted to that. I love a Krispy Kreme. I had, about 2 months ago, me and went to McDonald's and we ordered chicken there. It was nothing compared to Crispy King. But there you go. But it's not healthy food. It's bad for you. I'm piling on the weight. My shirts hardly fit anymore. So I've got to crack it down. Can you make a good apple crumble? No, you can't make a good apple crumble in the microwave. It cooks from the inside out, doesn't it? You've got to have it. You've got to do it in an oven, mate. Got to do it in an oven because you've got to get the melt. The butter has got to burn on the top and melt down in it through the crumble. No, in a cell. Listen, in a cell. I'm going to do a video in about. Well, I don't know about when, but I'm going to do one called the best 5 cheap eats in the Philippines. And we did the Inner Soul video the other week because about 2 months ago, I would agree with you. I would have said if you're looking for cheap eats, and my parameters are going to be less than 500 pesos for 2 in the Philippines, because in Dumaguete it'd be different because there's a place called Mr. Sizzler's, which we like here, or I like here, but I don't know if that's the whole of the Philippines. Like Crispy King, I like Crispy King, but it's only in a few places. You know, it's not the whole of the Philippines. I know it's in Cebu and it's here, so I can't say the best under 5. I might do one Dumaguete, one whatever. But yeah, I used to love Inner Soul. But we stayed in the city last week. Was it no, the weekend before last. There's a brown house, we booked a hotel. Haven't put that video up yet. And we went for Inner Soul. And I am going off that place. First couple of times I went, I thought it was amazing. I had the halo. Then I got into the palabok. Because I love the palabok. But we went there about 2 months ago, the one up near the City Mall, and I thought, didn't enjoy that as much. And then we went there a couple of weeks ago, and Ellen loved it. It's her favourite one by a million miles. And I'm going off it. But it's good. I mean, chicken Inner Soul, yeah. I think that's, don't like the Chowking. But Inner Soul's going to be, we're going to do the 5 best, why am I holding up 4 fingers when I'm doing the 5? The 5 best cheap eats in the Philippines, and definitely one's going to be Crispy King and one's going to be chicken Inner Soul. Whether we rent them, it's not called chicken. It's called what's it called, Ellen? Mung Inner Soul. Mung Inner Soul is going to be the one. I'm guessing you're talking about Mung Inner Soul when you said Inner Soul there, William. I might be wrong because Inner Soul's nice, but I think Mung Inner Soul was the best one. Don't mention Crispy King too loudly, the roosters may protest. I'll tell you what, mate, the amount of noise they're making these, I don't care, they protest. I like to tease, I don't know, I'm an animal lover. But God, those things drive you nuts, don't they, after a while? Oh dear. I've got the old thing tied up here. I think people have stopped talking to us now. If you have, chaps, then it's my sign to knock it on the head. Don't mention, mate, get back to in the gym. Yeah, I've got to, but I'm enjoying not doing it. But you're right, I've got to get back in the gym. Mate, do a day cheap eats, as in have 3 meals out with drinks. Yeah, I did one of those when I first started the channel. I did like a 500 pesos day. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. I tried to do. I did a 1500 peso day. I mean, it's changed now. The channel's got a bit bigger, but I've lost a lot of views the last couple. So I'm not just doing it for the views. I mean, some things I'll talk about because I want to do, but some things you like to get a few hits off. But I'll do that because that would be interesting to me. You know, if I was wanting to come here, you know, where you can go, what you can do, like for a limited budget, because you can live incredibly cheaply here if that's what you want to do. That's not what I want to do, but you could if you wanted to. You know what I mean? It's like if you could go and have a cooked breakfast in certain places, like a Filipino breakfast. You could have a nice meal out. You could have a lunch. If you like a drink, you could get a tanduay. I mean, a bottle of tanduay, the cheap one is like, you know, I mean, that's not me, but, you know, I mean, there's so much you can do it if that's what you want to do. In Gavati, need to hit the rock. Great live. Hit the rack. Great live. Okay. We'll bear that in mind. Will part 2 of Molo vlog drop this week? Yeah, mate. Yeah. Well, in Gavati, need to hit the rack. Great live. Oh, I need the rack. I thought you meant you were inviting us down there someplace. You need to go to the rack. Okay, mate, listen, thanks for joining, William. Have a good night's sleep, mate. Been nice meeting you. I think it's the first time we chatted on the old live, innit? Pleasure, mate. Will part 2 of Mogul drop? Yeah, it will, mate. I'm not sure when, because it's almost edited. I think I will. It's just that I did one on Vitali today. I'm not sure which one to drop first. But yeah, definitely. It'll either drop tomorrow or it'll drop Friday. But don't get too excited. There's not that much excitement. Ellen's not happy by the end of it, but she never is. So what changes? The girl who needs a shower, she's still there. She just wants someone to blame her for a late night. Moan at in the morning. Yeah, 3 days, 3 different budgets. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. 3 days, 3 different budgets. The thing is though, Jackstar, give me some clues on how to market that, because it is all about the thumbnail here. You know, I'm under no illusions, because I did that last video. I did happiness and heartbreak in the Philippines. I got a lot more views than I would have done for a usual vlog because of the title. And people generally stopped watching at 4 minutes because they were looking for disappointment and things. So it is all about the title. So I have to call it from a pauper to a king or something like, you know what I mean? It's all in the title. My old mate Brent, he's very good at his thumbnails and his titles. But no, I'll do that because that would be easy to do. You know what I mean? There'll be days when we go out for a cheap lunch and an expensive dinner, you know what I mean? And like just mix in the content. You know, I'll do that. Good idea, mate. I can see why you're so successful now. You're a wise man. Simon Kendall, I always leave Rib Shack for cheap food. Cheap feed pork is life. I didn't know they were a chain. There's one I've been to the one in Robinson's a couple of times. I thought they would just do me get you one. Well, if they're, I quite liked it. I liked the Hungarian sausage and rice. It was, oh, Ella, my love. Light of my life. You bought me 2 empty snooze boxes. I'm out my snooze. There's a full one in there somewhere, sweetheart.
You just finished 2?
No, because they went, what do you mean I just finished 2? They only had like 3 in them each. They were like half empty. There's a berry one that's left.
Where?
What do you mean liar? How can I lie? I only put one in every 10 minutes anyway. There's one in the bedroom. Thank you, sweetie.
What's in the bedroom?
There's one with berries on it. I might have to go, guys. My snooze is going to run out. I always loved the Rib Shack for a cheap food port. Anyway, yeah, I did know that. Poor Ellen. LOL. Yeah, I know Ellen. She has a tough life, mate. She puts up with a lot of crap. It's doesn't really. She's very lucky to have me. And I say that sarcastically. But Ellen is a very straight woman. In the sense that we have an unusual relationship, in the sense that she's never done anything naughty in her life. And I'm not saying I'm a bad man. I'm saying I have. Anyway, we're very different. Opposites attract. That's what we'll say. Well, you haven't looked very hard, have you, darling? I think it's in that blue, my blue thingy pouch. Doesn't matter. I've got one now, but it's in there. It's okay, button. God bless Ellen. Right, well, I don't want to keep anyone here too long. I'm going to check out now, guys. I worked top live with a great chat, buddy. Okay, I can take the hint, Jackstar. I can take the hint, mate. We're going to knock it on the head now. Listen, have a great New York trip. Just have a great time, mate. Have a great time. I say it was a good Lord, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Can't thank you enough, brother. Have a great time, and if we don't catch you on the next live, we'll catch you when you come back, and enjoy America, and enjoy mate, all the best to you, and both been a pleasure. Cheers, Jackstar. Had a good few drinks myself tonight. Well, I'm glad you have. I'm glad you have, Adam. Listen, before you go, one question, Jackstar. Are you going straight from India when you come back from America, or are you If not, you can put it in the comments, because I know you said you were thinking about going for India after you come back from America. Hey Glenn, Jackstar, Adam, William. I'm not gonna. It usually tells me how many people are here. I'm gonna try and say goodbye to as many people as I can. Simon, done. William, done. Jackstar, done. I think I've covered everyone. I appreciate watching, mate. Lads, sorry if I went on too long. I'm a silly old man, but I like to talk. Be lucky, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care, everyone. Thanks again, Jackstar. Yeah, goodbye, fellas.